was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the. It's a longer intro than I thought it was. I might have to trim that down. Or just not use the countdown. I don't know. Welcome to the very first live stream of Picard season 3, episode number 1. We are late because of technical difficulties. StreamYards was not being very fun to deal with, trying to figure out how to simulcast to both channels, but here we are, and thank you, and welcome to Samuel the Infamous.
Yes, and we are simulcasting both on Legion Talk and on Samuel the Infamous. So if you're watching from either one of those, I'm still updating the description on my channel, but it will have the links for Legion and for our other co-host who has some important things he needs to be dealing with right now and may join us if he gets a chance later. Horny Alf.
Yes.
And all of that stuff. Also be aware, we are going to be discussing the show. There will be spoilers. So if you haven't watched it and you want to, it's maybe not the stream for you.
Yeah. So if you have not seen Picard season 3, we're just talking episode 1. We're going to do this Game of Thrones style, where we physically go through the episode. This goes very well for myself and Joker Voice and our Monday night panel. And people seem to like it. So yes, if you have not seen it and you want to, maybe opt out, because it's a good show and you really should watch it. It's a good season. Forget season 1 and 2, just watch 3. So
I enjoyed it. I did. I did.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would. I got a few issues, but we'll cover those as we come to them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, and of course, and but the consensus seems to be that everybody is actually quite enjoying this for the most part. But obviously, everything is not without issue. But let's say hello to the chat. Of course, we have Lawrence Knight who says first, and he says first ever for this show. So yes, it is, and he says eat it, all of you. We do have some people lurking, which is fine. I appreciate our lurkers; they give us the great views. And yes, so he says, unfortunately, Sasquatch lurks. Well, that's what Sasquatch does best. Clue. Cool show Friday, Ryan. No, thank you. We had a blast. We really appreciated you having you on. I would like to have you on again. So maybe we can talk about this next Friday if you're free. But I will message you on Twitter for that. So
yeah, Clue's pretty awesome.
No, yeah, no, I greatly enjoy him, and Amira did a great job, and it was awesome having him on. You know, I know that Amira was a bit out of her element, but she fucking killed it. So it was funny though. R2's like, somebody's shopping at Target right now. That was my favorite comment. Because Amira was she was kind of
yeah. I liked how Tom was just like, what did you get me into here, buddy?
Oh, yeah, no, it was so funny, and we hadn't had Tom on for a while, so that was cool. But no, it was a good show. So, shall we talk about some Picard?
Let's do.
All right. So we open up with a very, very, very wonderful looking galactic background, and then of course I'm going to speed this up so we don't get hit. We're going to have some of the same problems that we usually do on Monday night, but we will go through the dialogue. Do I see bluebird singing their song?
You sure you got the right episode here?
Maybe I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you don't.
Shit. That didn't look familiar. I was like, wait, hold on. That doesn't look right. Go away. Yeah, my bad, dude.
Yeah, because that should be opening up on a Nebula playing that song that opens up Fallout 3. I don't want to set the world on fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Hold on. What's going on here? That's my goof. What is happening? Oh no, yeah, that's what no, we were on. See what the hell? I clicked the wrong freaking thing. Doofus.
It goes that way sometimes.
I've been having a hell of a fucking day. I tell you what. Yes. Okay. I was on season 1, and that's why I didn't recognize it. But it opens slightly similar.
Kind of. Yeah. They got the. I mean, it's Irving Berlin, but yeah.
Okay. No. I got my fucking horny elf says I'll be there in 20 minutes or so. That's awesome, buddy.
Nice.
It's good glad that you're gonna be able to make it. Okay. All right. Now we're on the right thing. Ryan's got his head out of his ass, which is the first. Yeah. We know. Nobody cares.
Opens on in the 25th century. So hold up a second. Anybody who watches Star Trek, like, I could understand why you would want to put that on there for like people who have never seen any Star Trek ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're watching Picard season 3, you should at least have some idea that it takes place approximately in that time period. It seems a little on the nose.
You would think so, but I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, there's almost 700 fucking hours of Star Trek in existence.
No, I know, but you have to think that Picard season 1 and 2 is made for mouth breathers and people who don't actually like actual Star Trek. It's people who like identity politics, and that's who it's for. So season 3 is not made for them, and so I think maybe they're just trying to maybe correct a little bit. in case you get some of those people rolling over from seasons 1 and 2. Which
Right.
probably after this episode they probably dipped because they're like, what the hell is this? I saw people complaining too, saying that they want a spin-off show, which I'm not going to say of what character, but they're like, we want a spin-off show, but not of gosh darn it, what's his name? Who's the Terry Metalis. They're like, we don't want Terry Metalis to do it because season 3 of Picard was nothing but glorified fan fiction that was just for nothing but nostalgia bait, and it's like, because that's bad. And they're like, well, it's just like these people are arguing. We want Alex Kurtzman to run anything going forward. And it's like, yeah, because that's gone real well to this point. So it's like, dumbasses.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
I love this song.
So do I.
I just want to start
I sped it up to 1.5 so we don't get clipped too. So it'll keep us from getting clipped.
Nice.
And that one is you. No other will do.
996.2. The Enterprise remains concealed in the dust cloud. To my surprise, the four can maintain their position, waiting for us to come out of hiding.
We'll take a little pause here. Ozzy said, sadly, someone thought of it. I would do a 7-day trial, binge all 3 seasons, and cancel. Nope, only season 1 is available. No wasting the trial. Yeah, no. If it's if you're not getting the hell with that.
It's not. That's not worth it, dude.
You're not even close to worth it. Just bail now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's what Paramount Plus now used to be. CBS All Access,
something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They have several properties that are amazing, like Twilight Zone, like Star Trek, and all that. But there's so much garbage on there that isn't worth watching.
No. I had Paramount Plus for a small time, thinking I was going to watch the what's it called, the John Cena one from what is he from the Suicide Squad?
Oh, that's on HBO Max. Yeah, Peacemaker.
Oh, is it on HBO Max? Okay.
Yeah.
No. What the hell did I had? I had I did the trial for Paramount, and I don't remember why now. Whatever. I guess that's the reason. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. So we open, and obviously we're getting a little bit of a reminiscent, kind of like what looks to be almost an abandoned ship, but not really.
I have no explanation for their special interest in me or the ship. We continue to prepare our defenses for the inevitable conflict.
Might be a little fast with the dialogue. I might need to slow it down. Romulan ale. Right? That's Romulan ale, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the blue colored.
Yeah. It's been a while. But yeah, it should be Romulan ale.
Charging. Attempting power up.
Dr. Crusher.
In this initial shot, she looks pretty damn good considering how her age.
Yeah, she's in her 70s, isn't she?
Yeah, because
Patrick Stewart's in his 80s.
Oh yeah, you can't mistake her either. Like, as soon as she comes up on the screen, it's like white hair notwithstanding, strange garb notwithstanding.
Yeah,
that's Dr. Crusher. That's Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, easily.
That's impossible. Elios, divert all power to the warp core.
Working.
Get us the hell out of here.
Now, this does start out a little bit darker. So some people may not necessarily be as familiar with that. Because of course, the Star Trek, the Next Generation movies had a darker tone to them compared to the series. Go ahead.
They do. But the other thing to note here is that, especially through seasons 1 and 2 of Picard, well, any Kurtzman Trek really, and especially the JJ movies, it is visually darker as well.
Yes.
All of the lights are turned down. All of the it's very muted. It's very dark. It's kind of hard to see in some places. And
go ahead. Sorry, dude.
I think that they started season 3 with that in mind, because later on, as we'll discuss, the lights come up. It gets visually brighter as the series goes on.
I will say though that it is darker, but it is not Game of Thrones dark. As somebody who obviously is currently with a Joker voice and know me and all that stuff, we are reviewing Game of Thrones. I obviously did review House of the Dragon. We will be reviewing season 1 of House of the Dragon before season 2 comes out. It is not as dark as Game of Thrones, and I can appreciate that because Game of Thrones would actually probably be about 5 shades darker, and it almost sometimes is hard to see on stream.
Yeah.
So, okay. And so the ship is being obviously boarded.
Yep. New scary aliens we've never seen before.
I know, they're cool looking though. I like it. I like the way they look. I think they honestly look good. They wanted the movies to seem more cinematic, yeah. And some people I know are a little iffy on the next generation movies. I know Nemesis is a lot of people like really kind of bag on that movie. I don't think it's terrible, but I was a lot younger, and Next Generation was the first series I watched as a kid because I was born in the 80s. So
Nemesis broke my mother's heart, and she's been a Trekkie since it was live in the 60s, or since it was aired in the 60s. Yes.
We'll have to go farther into that as of why, because that kind of sucks to hear.
This makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. I did raise an eyebrow when I saw this. Now, I will say this though, she's not super girl boss.
No, she isn't, and she doesn't just like Princess Leia them to death immediately. I'm giving her some leeway here because it has been 20 years. Maybe she's picked up a few skills in that time. That's, and that's not my issue. My major issue with this scene here is the pump action energy weapon.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, what
she's
the
like,
fuck?
Oh, dark. It's not even like it's a shotgun. It's an energy rifle, but okay. I like how you can visually see that it like runs out and she has to pump it again.
Yeah.
Like it. I will say this as somebody who did see the controversial ending to season 1 of Picard. It has a very Mass Effect feel because your energy rifle does run out and you have to basically give it time to recharge. And they did steal basically they took the idea of the Reapers for the ending of season 1 of Picard, the sentient beings. They stole straight from Mass Effect.
They stole from Mass Effect. They stole from Lovecraft, and just like they combined the two things. So you got, again, we're gonna have spoilers here, but trust me, the first season is not fucking worth watching.
No.
The basically these giant tentacled sentient synthetic beings from beyond the edge of the galaxy decide they want to show up and wipe out all fucking organic life. And
the Reapers.
They're pretty much. Pretty much exactly that. And it doesn't, the whole thing is stupid.
It is stupid. And I watched that and I was like, oh my God, like you could not have hit that more on the nose, fuckers.
Power cell depleted.
I will admit, that's a little ridiculous. They're fucking blasting like it's a fucking chain gun, but whatever. It's fine.
It is. It's doing its chain thing and all that stuff. And I get how that could be like a possible thing. What I don't understand is how it doesn't just slice through that fucking beam she's hiding behind it, cut her in half,
Yeah. I mean, she did get shot, so I'll give him that. I did have questions though about that part. It's like if she can see them, If she can see him, can't he see her? And it's like,
Right.
would he necessarily not be paying attention? But you never know.
Smart.
I'm just gonna skip forward a little bit here because we're gonna have to. We can only play about 30-second intervals, and if we do them too close, they will take the stream down on both of us. So, so I will say this. Minimal gripes in the beginning. Was it awesome to see Beverly and stuff like that? But yeah, minimal gripes, not a whole lot of griping.
Honestly, man, for my part, the gripes are mostly of a technical nature for
Mhm.
me. Just in terms of like, okay, so I've been watching Star Trek forever. The pump action thing is ridiculous.
Mhm.
The Gatling gun action thing is cool, but it's like it doesn't make any sense how she survived that. Other than plot armor, basically.
Yeah.
I did like that she got clipped. I liked that she thought to hit the plasma vent to give herself some cover. That was smart. So like it's a bit of give and take.
Yeah. It is a bit of give and take, and I'm okay with that. So obviously skip forward. She does kill the last bad guy, and
1 minute, 7 seconds remaining until power up. Incoming vessel detected.
Morse.
I mean, she's bleeding.
Helios. Prepare to send a transmission. Subspace frequency myriad codec.
System prepared to transmit. State your recipient.
This message is for Admiral Jean-Luc Picard.
More bad guys. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing, like just in terms of the energy weapon things, is why is she bleeding?
It should cauterize the wound.
Yeah.
Technically, it should. Definitely, I can understand that nitpick.
I understand that visually for the audience, it underscores that she's injured without actually showing the wound. I get that, so like I understand why they would do something like that, but just again from a technical point of view, it should have cauterized the wound. It should have burned a hole clean through.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than what a lightsaber would do in
Mhm.
Star Wars. And they kind of they fucked that up in A New Hope when Obi-Wan Kenobi cuts the alien's arm off. There's blood on the ground. It's like there shouldn't have been blood.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously that's the first movie. Can you give them a pass? Yes.
Sure,
Is it
it's a small gripe.
It's a small gripe. It is a small gripe, but that's what fans do. Is that we nitpick. That's just and we debate and discuss, and it's how you make better television and movies is by the small things. Gosh darn it.
First love is always the sweetest, isn't it?
This right here. So the chick, for those who are not familiar, to Picard's right is a Romulan named Laris who works for him. Former Tal Shiar intelligence, now housekeeper. And she was actually probably one of the better parts of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was a decent character. The actress is very good as the character. And so that was a nice way to kind of tie it in, but not make this season dependent on the events of the first two.
Yeah, no, and they do shoehorn in some stuff, and it's not it's not bad. And it's not over the top like it was with the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, weirdly, Laris is one of the few characters from season 1 that I actually did like.
Yeah, there were I do obviously know of season 1 and 2. But no, did I sit and watch the whole entire thing? No, absolutely not. But I've seen a lot of the breakdowns and stuff, and yes, they toned down they kept some of the good things from those seasons, but they also toned down some of the gripes of some of the other characters that were, well, just say super awesome all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it when it does that.
But she was certainly my favorite.
I hope she won't be offended if I send her away for a cleaning.
I didn't think they had spring cleaning on Romulus.
We don't. That is entirely unique to humans and their belongings.
It's a good looking ship. It's a good looking
I
ship.
want to give it to Geordie.
Give it away? No, I was just teasing you.
Well, I know that, but he is running the Fleet Museum. He will love it. Take this painting down and pack it up, please.
Don't you dare.
See,
Go ahead.
he starts giving away his belongings, and this is a little bit of that Kurtzman influence, that J.J. Abrams influence, that kill, the past is dead, kill it if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a little bit of it, but it's like that needle under your fucking thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely see the point behind the character saying this, but at the same time, I don't think he would say it. And that's why I think that's actually a good thing of don't you dare.
Yeah. And what she says next to, what she says here in a little bit to Picard, actually, I think is Terry Matalas is the guy who show ran this, and he was clearly a fan. And so what she says next to him, I think, was Matalas speaking to Kurtzman Abrams Trek.
Well, Terry Matalas, he was actually a writer on Enterprise, wasn't he?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, he was a writer on Star Trek, on Enterprise, and I know a lot of people. I know there's some iffiness with some people about Enterprise, but I don't think I don't think it was bad. Of course, what's his name? He was on Quantum Leap. Scott
Bakula?
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of his last name. Yes, he was the captain. I thought Enterprise was fine. I even liked Voyager. Deep Space Nine I think is probably one of the best ones. But Next Generation will always be my favorite, and that's just because I was a kid when I watched it. But yes, no, I think that was Terry Matalas saying, "Hey, dude, y'all need to knock it the fuck off."
You're going to miss these things by coming with me to Chaltalk 4. I feel I'm asking a lot of you.
No, I am looking forward to it. Because while you're running around setting up diplomatic security, I'm going to sip Saurian brandy and think about writing my memoir.
Jean-Luc, you don't need to prove to me how ready you are for this. How in the present you are.
Oh, I do want to add this.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Stewart seems a lot more spry this season.
Yeah, they added a little bit of meth to his morphine drip.
They gave him the Joe Biden treatment. No, in all honesty, I remember seeing clips from season 1, and it's just like it felt like low energy, just no oomph, no excitement. I don't know, maybe even he was a little disappointed with how things turned out. I know he talks a lot of shit. He talks out his ass because he is kind of a weirdo when it comes to identity politics. But I don't know, maybe he kind of felt a little bogged down by the crap of the seasons.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
The past matters, and
right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
right there. That's Terry Matalas speaking to Kurtzman and speaking to Abrams.
Yep, the past matters, and that's okay. Because the past matters. You know why? Yeah. Because we wouldn't be who we are if it wasn't for the past. And just to kick the past, whatever, going, you're kicking a whole entire multiple generations in the dick and saying, yeah, fuck you.
I would take it even further. So go back to, I think it was Star Trek 5. Spock's half brother is taking everybody's pain and making them into these happy-go-lucky zombie hippies, whatever. And he comes to Kirk and he's like, "Let me take your pain." And Kirk makes this very impassioned, brilliant speech about how he needs his pain. His pain is what makes him who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take that from somebody, or you erase who they are forever. Kind of thing, and I think that the Kurtzman and Abrams and those guys definitely could have maybe benefited from going back and listening to that again a few times.
I would agree. J.J. Abrams, I'm sorry, is he's an overrated. He's overrated. And he's been given way too much leeway, and quite frankly, he's just not that good. He wants to be the next Steven Spielberg. He'll never be. He's just not that talented, and he's wrecked a lot of franchises because He's tried to fucking be something he's not instead of just be his own creative.
Well, that and part of the reason that he fails so often is because he doesn't see these things through. The second it starts going south, he fucking bails instead of trying to correct course.
Yes, he does.
Every time. Spielberg would see it through. You want to be Spielberg? Fucking emulate that.
Yeah, I mean, look, and trust me, Spielberg has taken some fucking L's over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Look at what West Side Story. That was a piece of shit. Even the Latino community didn't like it.
Dear friends, old and new, but their memories.
A point comes in a man's life when he looks to the past to define himself, not just his future.
Well, I hope that's not going to be me. I am not a man who needs a legacy.
I don't like that line.
I don't either, because you're a man who has a incredible legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that makes no sense.
I don't like that line, but it is there to serve the story of the whole season, and it does set up events down the road. So, like, it is. I get how that's necessary. It's because he feels like he needs to, like, wipe the slate clean and start a new adventure, which I think is his next line. But he wants to get on with things and not worry about the past. But this line does set up things that happen later on that we'll get to that are important and that remind him that legacy is important.
Well, you even see she's a bit taken aback too. So that's kind of the response of she doesn't necessarily believe him.
Yeah, she's just laughing at him there.
Yeah, she basically knows. And okay, so we're gonna get to the actual message here right now.
Computer, do you hear that alert?
Yes.
Where is it?
Unable to determine location.
Thanks for your help.
It's a very interesting chirp now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's an old chirp.
It's a very old chirp, and that's why just kind of the look on his face and stuff like that is kind of funny, because he's like, wait, what? Like, it's he just I don't know. I really like that, because I'm just like, I recognize that.
Now there's a name I haven't heard in more than 20 years.
Yeah.
What could it be? Oh, call back.
Yeah. Man, I have to pause it. I hate to say it, because I don't want us to get clipped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how picky Paramount is. I know that HBO is massively picky.
Yeah, it's better safe than sorry, and I'm sure we got plenty to say. For my part, seeing that comm badge again, like, for me, that is the comm badge.
Yes.
That is the comm badge. Now, there have been a bunch of different designs that reflect different areas, and that only makes sense that over time, like, even the uniforms change as they go along. Military uniforms do the same thing in real life. I don't have an issue with that, but that. Well, for me, Deep Space Nine was my favorite Trek. Even then, when they were still, I think, at the beginning, using those same comm badges for like the first season or so, and then they switched to the ones that have kind of the rectangular design. But it will always be, because this is the one I grew up on. I grew up on The Next Generation.
Yep.
And so that is a wonderful piece of nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, guys, this whole season is chock full of member berries.
And you know what? After kind of fucking everything up, it kind of needed to be.
Yeah.
It needed to be a giant olive branch to everybody. And yeah, as soon as you hear that fucking chirp, like, as somebody who grew up watching The Next Generation, you're like, immediately you're like, I know what that is. I know exactly what that is. You don't have a question like, oh, that doesn't sound like the right comm badge. It's like, no, you know exactly what it fucking is.
Computer, analyze.
Communicator badge belonging to Jean-Luc Picard, Captain, USS Enterprise, Stardate 4115.
Yes, but what could it possibly be receiving?
Detecting encrypted long-range transmission via a subspace frequency. It contains an uncommon codec.
Codec?
A codec is a program that compresses
Yes,
data.
yes, I know what a codec is. But tell me about this one.
It requires a passcode.
Why would anyone send a coded message to a more than 20-year-old Enterprise D communicator?
Unknown.
Okay, so this is where we get into like things that they couldn't do back in the day. Like I was unaware that communicator badges could take messages.
Yeah, I was not aware of that either. I thought it was straight just comms.
Yeah,
So,
it was a radio. It wasn't an answering machine.
yeah, I mean, I guess maybe in a sense.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and long range. That too. That seems a little um out of the design specs for those badges.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess maybe the fact that if it still technically works with the even though it's more than 20 years old, it still has an interface with the modern communications network. And since Beverly's on a modern ship, it can kind of act as a kind of a slight answering machine, if that makes sense. Like kind of like it stores a message, but the only way it's just for that specific frequency. And so that's how they like. I mean, I that's the only thing I could probably figure out.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's diving balls deep into fucking a wormhole of whatever.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't make too much sense in terms of the what a comm badge actually is. And also like why would it have juice 20 years later?
that's a good
Unless it
question.
had some kind of like nuclear power source in it, which why would you wear that up next to your heart?
I always kind of probably thought it ran off of kind of like biothermal energy from the human
Mhm.
body.
If that's the case, again, if he hasn't worn it in 20 years, it should be out of juice, right?
Yeah, it should be out of juice. Unless it has a hibernation mode. I mean, yeah, we're probably definitely over analyzing it, but still, it is something that kind of makes you go, but compared to some of the shit we've gotten recently, I'll take I'll take a little bit of a instead of a fucking giant middle finger like they like to do to us.
Right, but I got to say this is what fans should be doing. We should be nitpicking technical details.
Mhm.
We should not be arguing about quote unquote the message that and that's
Yeah,
the fact
agreed.
that we're what almost 10 minutes into the first episode and most of my quibbles have been about just like, okay, so that doesn't make sense technically. Has nothing to do with the message for the most part. And that's
Mhm.
good. That's an excellent start.
That's a massive start because if the roles were reversed, they would have it would be like Star Wars does. In fucking The Force Awakens, they said let the past die. They
Mhm.
said it. They said it straight fucking up front. Let the past die.
Myriad. Computer, try codec Myriad. Authorization Picard 47 Alpha Tango.
Accessing. It is a recorded message.
Here.
Decrypted.
See, and that's what kind of makes me think that it's like it still has slight access to the modern network, and that's why it's stored in the network, but it can only be accessed through said frequency. But then again, as we said, like how's that thing still powered? So
Mhm.
20 fucking years later, 25
Yeah.
years later.
And everything's like, I mean, we are in the 25th century. Everything is way past wireless at this point. So like, I get, bouncing around, but it can't be, I guess, that encrypted if he was able to just call up, the access code and all that stuff, from memory. If he hasn't even thought about those things in that long, I mean, he's an old man, regardless of how amazing he may be. Some stuff's gonna slip your minds, including access codes that were only used 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, agreed.
Admiral Picard, I'm encoding this transmission with coordinates. Listen to me very carefully. Hellbird. Repeat. Hellbird. And Jean-Luc. No, Starfleet. Trust
X-Files callback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a huge X-Files fan, by the way.
Me too.
Massive
She's
X-Files fan.
horrified. Clearly injured. You said she was a doctor, right?
And a good one.
We're gonna have to fucking break.
You know,
we can actually listen to the audio off screen, and that won't get us clipped, which we'll do in a second.
So Laris being like y'all might be wondering why Laris, if you haven't watched season 1, is a decent analyst, right? In addition to being a housekeeper, it's because when she was with the Tal Shiar, she did interrogations. She's very, very good at reading people. She used to torture people for a living. So, and before everybody, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so awful. I mean, she was Romulan, so
Yeah. That's not really. They're not really going to be too concerned about that. But yeah, we can listen to it offline so we don't get clipped for the video.
But I haven't spoken with her for over 20 years, and neither has any other member of the old crew.
That
just
surprises me.
cut us off.
Yeah, that surprises me a little bit too.
So why contact me now?
Well, you were close once. And when you were on the Enterprise, you trusted each other with your lives. You even tried to be lovers, didn't you?
Tried is the operative word.
But maybe you're the one person she still feels she can trust.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either.
No Starfleet?
Okay, so as a former intelligence operative, here's what I'm seeing. This isn't paranoia. Her fear is genuine. This is a woman out of options, and she is asking you to help. Only you. You have to go.
I'll be back.
Troll Patrol. It's a great name, by the way. Walking in will stay had to come smack that like though. Have a great day all. Thank you so much, Troll Patrol.
Thank you for stopping by, man. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so Troll Patrol's great.
I like the name.
In a few days, maybe even less.
Maybe even more. These are the lives we chose.
That's a great line.
There is this great bar, which I'll talk for. You can watch the sunset from it. I'll save you a seat. You mind yourself.
And I'm actually okay with actual emotion in this. Like, and it doesn't seem fucking
Right.
awful. Like, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. She's been living with and working for him for years. She has an understandable amount of affection for him. And like that little kiss there, I know there's people out there who'll be like, oh my gosh, that means so much. I was like, no, that was clearly an affectionate kiss from one person who cares very much for another, but it wasn't like a lover's thing.
Yeah, it's not like they're fucking sucking face.
They're friends.
Yeah.
And I think her performance right here is fucking excellent.
I agree.
Really do. I think she's very you can see the emotion on her face, but it's very understated, it's reserved, but it's still there, just below the surface. So I think she does a great job here.
I would agree with that, yeah. All right. Kind of bouncing forward a little bit. Now we are at the bar.
10 forward specifically.
Yes.
Which is no longer on the Enterprise D. It is a bar that is it's either in space dock or it's on Earth. I forget which.
I think it might be in space dock, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's for Frontier Day.
How come you have so many Enterprise Ds?
Oh, the fat ones? No one wants those.
The
What a
fat
bitch.
the fat ones?
What a bitch.
Fuck you.
That's so fucking rude. And you can see it on Riker's face. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it, but I really want to punch you in the nose right now. And all that. And I would also like to point out though, Guinan is in this scene. She is not on screen, and she will not be on screen for this at all. But they make reference to her being in the room later on in the scene. And
Oh, is it?
or
Alfie?
no, maybe not. You know what? I'm skipping ahead. I think they end up back there much later on. But yeah, she is referenced as being in the room at a point in the series, but she is not here because Whoopi got herself into some trouble between season 2 and 3.
Gee whiz, Whoopi getting herself in trouble. What the fuck else is new?
Yeah, so they opted not to have her back and just to reference her off screen.
Yeah. Well, maybe if she shut the hell up on the fucking View. With
Is
those
it Alf? Yeah, I full disclosure, I watched season 1 all the way through. I dipped in for a second on season 2 and I dipped right the fuck back out again. Season 3 I wasn't going to watch until I started hearing people who hated the other stuff start saying good things about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
So, if Alf says it was in season 2, he's I'm inclined to believe him.
Yeah, I'm inclined to believe him too. I actually do like this scene because the way she's like disrespectful is just something that's a generational gap, and quite frankly, it almost actually kind of speaks true to the fans that love the Next Generation and want good fucking want a good season of Picard compared to the modern retards that get out of fucking college and they're supposed to be writers and they just fucking butcher everything. And I think that's a great thing. She's like, oh, the fat one. She's like, yeah, nobody wants a fat one. Nobody wants those. Yeah. And it's yes, we do, because that's what we liked.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out here that unlike Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes has aged very well here.
Mm-hmm.
He looks good.
Yeah, he does look good.
You better leave the bottle.
Yeah, see, just look at the fucking disdain in her face, and that's definitely a generational fucking gap.
No one wants the fat ones. It's galaxy class to you, young lady.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Will.
He is so full of so you remember when we go back to watch The Next Generation, he starts off and he's full of life and rambunctious and adventure, but he's also very much a first officer. He's very much about protocol. So when he's on duty, he does not step out of line. He does not lay in with the snark. He just does his job, and he does it professionally and very well. You'll notice going through this season, it's almost like he had pent up all these snarky comments and this sarcasm and shit, and he just lets it fly.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't hate it.
No, I love that comment. He's like, yeah, you hear that, Jean-Luc? Nobody wants a fat ones. It's just because she's just like, what a dick. And it's like, no, you were a jerk first. Fuck you.
Look, you handsome elder statesman of Starfleet.
I'm going to make a speech at that Frontier thing this week. It's like a parade through space. Wants to hear some old fart drone on about going boldly for the last 250 years.
I'm giving a speech too.
And that's going to be great.
I wouldn't have asked to meet you like this if it hadn't been very important. And I really appreciate you giving up your family time.
Actually, Deanna and Kestra will appreciate the time away from me.
Okay, that's important.
Yes, go ahead.
That's important. That informs his character quite a bit there. So I do know this from previous seasons. He had a son and a daughter with Deanna. He's married to Deanna, and his son died of a supposedly incurable disease in the 25th century, where they have space magic. But whatever. So at this point, when we meet him in the bar here, he's ready to go. He's ready to get as far the fuck away from his own life as he possibly can, because he is grieving, but he doesn't know how.
Yeah. And gee whiz, go figure, died of an incurable disease, just happens to be so adjacent to a certain virus of unknown origins.
Yeah. And that
real original, guys.
So I don't know if that was actually the case, because again, I didn't watch all of season 2, but he in this moment when he says that Deanna and Kestra is the name of his daughter. I don't remember the name of his son. I do believe it comes up again later.
I would like to say welcome to Hornet Alf.
Hey, man, glad you made it.
Hello, gents. Yeah, glad to be here. Yeah, I had some unexpected family obligations come up, so I had to be there for them.
That's okay. Family is
family first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Highly important. So, no, good to have you here. Now we have an extra set of voices to talk about this. Because what happened? It did the thing. I hate it when it does the thing. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
Julie, do the thing.
Not the thing.
Yeah, no, so the cursor gets stuck sometimes and it drags it like all the way to the end, or it drags it all the way to the beginning. It drives me fucking nuts. So okay. Yeah. How you doing, man? How's your Sunday going?
It's pretty good. Did Vets talking last night. We missed you.
I know. I had the potato internet, man. I just so we finished. So the stream looked like shit on Samuel's. And I had to halfway through, I had to reset everything, like turn everything off, reset the fucking router because the storms have been wreaking havoc for the last couple of nights. And so I turned everything off and it seemed to be fine. And then of course around, I don't know, like 9:47 or something, it took a shit again. And the internet just went completely out. So, and then it didn't turn back on until like, I don't know, probably 40 minutes into Vets talking. And I was just like, dude, I'm not going to do this because it kept bouncing in and out. And I was just like, yeah, it was awful. And I didn't want to fucking drag shit down because I would have kept bouncing in and out or having, because I was lagging on my fucking audio was even lagging too. I turned my camera off and the audio was shit and it was bad. So I was kind of frustrated. I was tired and I was just, I had it. I was just like, I'm not even fucking mess with it. So I'm kind of glad that Adam was able to make it because I would have been able to host a stream. My shit was bad. But anyway, I'm glad you guys had a good show. I saw it was almost 4 hours. I would not have, even if I would have made it, I'd have been like probably done after like an hour and a half. Those late streams, man, they get me.
Well, that's even better. I did a stream on my channel after that. So
fuck.
I did a game.
Yeah.
That's what, I don't want to hijack the show, but that's what I started doing gaming streams on
good,
Twitch.
Dude, you're good.
Yeah, I started doing gaming streams on Twitch because I have to stream directly from my console, so Twitch is easier. But then I'm backing up all the video streams onto my YouTube as well. So
yeah, I don't think I have your Twitch link up, but I do have your YouTube link on the description on my channel.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the in our chat at some point. But no worry, it's just Horny Elf, and you'll see the same logo that I have here.
Yeah, he's got it on his Twitter. So I guess we can get back to the conversation, and you gentlemen have rewatched this. I've only had a chance to really watch it once because unfortunately I couldn't watch it last night because the internet was crap.
I actually didn't get to watch the whole thing all the way through. I had to skim through it, so I got to see the highlights. So just to refresh my memory.
Okay,
I took 2 pages of notes. So
I know. I thought he was talking about something else. He's like, I took 2 pages of notes. I'm like, oh, for for your stream last night, and he's like, no, for Picard. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Myriad codec. Thought about that since the good old days when we thought our comms were compromised back on Rigel 6.
7. Everly's message references these.
I want to add something real quick.
What's up? Yeah, go ahead.
Riker was one of my favorite characters from TNG,
yes.
And when they had him, I think it was in season 1. I don't know if you guys watched season 1 all the way through.
Yeah, I did see season 1. Yeah,
he was not some of it.
He was not Riker in season 1.
He was.
He even admitted he forgot.
He was Guy Fieri in season 1.
Yeah, he said he forgot how to play that role because it'd been so long. But I think he found it back in this season because it felt like Riker again.
Agreed. And like what I was saying just a brief moment ago, we this is important. Him being so willing to sign up for an unknown quest with an unknown goal with an old friend here. Plays directly into his grieving and his needing to be away from his family, who is also grieving, and all that, and which they like. This is there. I guess you could say that this is like, oh, he's being a bad dad because he's still got a father, a daughter, and he's being a bad husband. I don't think that's the case. I think he's in a bad place, and I think that there's payoff later. There is a through line here.
Yeah, and my comment about he found out how to play himself again, play Riker again. You could say that for Picard too, although Picard wasn't perfect, but there was a few moments in this show where okay, that's Picard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think they find themselves by the end of this season. They fully embrace who they were and who they are.
Same thing for 7 of 9.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about the fact that it seemed like Patrick Stewart was a lot more lively compared to the first 2 seasons.
I'm telling you, they put some meth in his IV.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know what kind of steroids they're giving him, but they need to do that some more.
Yeah, well, that's I was saying he got the Joe Biden treatment because he was a lot more lively. So
Trust no one with them. Plus the word Helbert.
What's out there?
Nothing at all, as far as I can see. But this word, Helbert, I have no idea what it means.
Of course not.
This is important.
There was a computer virus on the Enterprise when you were incapacitated.
Incapacitated? Acutus. The Borg, of course.
They scrambled our navigational system and then arbitrarily added 3 to every digit.
I know that I called you for a reason.
And adding 3 to every digit gives us these new coordinates. The Riken system.
Riken system? That's outside Federation space.
Perfect place to hide. But from what? What the hell has Beverly gotten herself into?
In all the years I have known her, I've never seen her so frightened. No.
Let me take it off screen real quick, but we'll still hear it.
They won't hit you for just the audio, will they?
No, it's audio and video. They'll tag us for that. They'll take the stream down for that, but yeah, no, just the audio, we're fine.
So Luke, why did you cut everyone off? Me, Deanna, and Geordi. There had to be a reason.
Well, I need to find the ship.
We need to find a ship, and we can't chart it too far, too dangerous.
No, I can't ask you to put yourself in danger.
Since when? Besides, aren't we a little overdue for a good old-fashioned road trip?
Well, we can't go to Starfleet. She made that clear.
I think I may have a workaround. Come on.
This, by the way, so when he says, why did she cut everyone off, me, Deanna, and Geordi, that implies that the core bridge crew of the 1701D is still in contact except for Beverly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which includes like Worf, for example, Picard, like they're still talking to each other.
Yes. Do we just want to kind of narrate through this one a little bit up to this point, to the next little section, Samuel, since you took a bunch of notes?
Yeah. So this is where
I'll be right back real quick.
Yeah, no worries. So this is where we reconnect with the character of Rafi, who was introduced in season 1, who's probably one of my least favorite characters in fucking television history.
I don't know who this woman is. I've never seen her in anything else. Maybe she's a good actor and other things, but she was not a fit for this show.
She could be a great actress. The character sucks.
Yeah, the writing of that character was just awful. And it was one of the last vestiges of the previous 2 seasons that she gets better when she's working with someone else, and I don't want to spoil it yet because we're not on that episode. But
I agree.
When she's in conjunction with that person, she's better.
Yeah, absolutely. But she is on her own just this insufferable character. Always seems to be complaining, always seems to be a step behind, and apparently, according to the first season, she is former Starfleet, and she is also a junkie, and she's estranged from her husband. She doesn't know her son and or her grandkid, and is just generally not in a good place. But everything that she does kind of makes you think, well, that's all her own fault. Like she has done nothing to make her life better in any way. And in fact, almost every decision she makes other people's lives miserable too.
Yep. Yeah, I did not like her one bit, neither the first 2 seasons. That the writing was awful. She just, I don't know, she's insufferable.
Yeah. And I was kind of hoping she wouldn't be back, but here she is as we meet her here on her way to another drug deal. So
Yes.
still a junkie as far as this is showing us right now. Yeah, still a junkie, fell off, broke up with her girlfriend who, you know, if you haven't watched previous seasons, it's 7 of 9.
Yep.
That's another one of those things they try to gloss over.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about earlier on the stream. I was listening. Is like when Metalis came in, there's some things from the previous 2 seasons he tried to just quickly get past. And then there were some things that he changed. It was basically an FU to the writers from the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did the best he could to clean up the mess that was left to him.
Yeah. And well, because you have a guy that actually gives a shit. As I was saying, he was a writer for Enterprise, and I think a lot of people will probably say that was one of the last good Star Trek shows.
He was on Voyager too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he was on Voyager too, but yeah, his last he was one of the last writers on Enterprise. So you know, he actually gave a shit. And you can tell you know that there's a difference in writing, you know, for the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would like to point out here too that there's also too much casual swearing in this show still. It's minimal. It's nowhere near what it was, but
that's something I can't stand about New Trek.
Yeah, it's you know, it doesn't belong in this world.
When they did it and there was swearing in TNG and DS9, but it was few and far between.
It was like hell and damn, and that was about it.
And when they used it, it was used for emphasis, not punctuation.
Yes. It was used in, you know, kind of like a dire situation or something like that. You know,
you see that in a lot of content nowadays. Though when you have bad writing, they try to supplement it with just curse words every other sentence.
Yes,
you know,
and look, you know, as somebody who swears like a fucking sailor, I don't have to swear all the time. Like I can go on other people's shows and I may have a slip up here or there, but I don't need to swear all the time to be like, you know, it's like to get my point across. And it's like literally children are writing the previous seasons. They don't understand how to be good writers at all.
Right. You know,
like, look at us. We're edgy. You know, we can swear a lot. You know, it's that kind of thing.
I swear a lot. You know, I mean, I do. I swear a lot. I do it on my channel. I do it on Ryan's channel. I do it in my own life a lot more than you guys here. And but the fact is like when you're writing a show that is to be accessible to everyone, right? And it's set in a time where language should have evolved past the need for that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense to have it in there. It just doesn't. It's just, oh look, we're an adult show. You can tell we're an adult show because there's boobies and there's the word fuck all over everything.
Yeah, and
you know, which is juvenile as hell, by the way.
It is juvenile as hell, and that's not what Star Trek is. Star Trek has always been something that, yes, it has more serious themes and it is for adults, but it's something that kids can easily watch and still become a fan of and enjoy at a younger age. Now, I'm not talking about like, you know, 5-year-olds or something like that, but you have a 10-year-old who can easily watch the old Next Generation. I think I was around the age of 10 when I started watching, you know, and it was easy to watch. I
watched part of the first season of Discovery with my daughter. You know, now she was a little older. She's 21 now, and at the time she was probably 15, 16 years old, whatever. And even then, like we get to some of the shit that happens in that show in the first season, like the Klingon rape scene. You know, like
man, when I saw Discovery was coming out and I didn't know anything about it, I was like, cool, there's new Star Trek coming out.
Same here.
I watched that first season and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, same here, man. And I was excited to share that with the next generation of my own family.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah.
See, and that's the problem is that you know, just because kids nowadays probably are exposed to a lot more extreme themes of some stuff doesn't mean that you have to go out of your way to perpetuate that. You know, you can still try to have something that's decent and wholesome and family oriented. Look at the Mario movie that just passed $1 billion. Mm-hmm. That movie was literally for everybody to enjoy, and it just kicked the snot out of the box office.
they want this to. Here's the problem: the writers are trying to insert our current society into a show that's supposed to be evolved in the future.
Mhm.
And perfect example in Discovery and in Strange New Worlds, you have bridge crew that are sassing the captain, which you would never see in TNG.
Yo.
Like they're downright like back talking him on the bridge. And it's like,
no, not even close. That
No,
shit
not only just sassing the captain. So our main character, Michael Burnham, gets thrown in the brig pretty early on because she fucks up and starts a war, right? And so that tracks like, yeah, okay, you started a war, you should maybe not be further involved. And then bad shit happens, and what's the first fucking thing that happens? It's like she gets rescued and reinstated and then put in fucking charge just because she was like the only survivor who was there.
Girl boss.
A perfect example of how they did it the opposite in TNG is there was one episode Data was commanding on the bridge, and I don't remember which episode it was, but
I know where you're going with this.
Worf had a disagreement with Data, and Data put him in his place, and then behind the scenes, Worf was like, "I'm sorry, I will step down if you want me to." That's proper,
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
I know the episode you're talking about, and yeah, so Worf's at the helm, and Data makes a decision they're going to go do this thing, and he goes and he says under his breath, but not so low that you can't audibly hear him. Finally, and Data pulls him into the ready room. He's like, "Can I see you in the ready room for a moment?" And he's like, "Yes, sir." Gets in there, and he's like, "Look, you don't get to be disrespectful. You still have to respect the chain of command. Like this is I am in charge. You are beneath me. I am open to suggestions just like our other commanding officers are. But when the decision's made, it is your job to carry out those orders without question and without dissent, and especially without doing that shit in front of the other crew."
Yep.
You know,
I mean, it's a military structure. You are to execute your orders as instructed. There's no questions about it. Nano Reaper says the only thing good about Discovery was the Federation ships. I didn't watch this. Well, I mean, teach their own. You would never see that on any vessel, not even a merchant ship. Captain's word is law. Yeah, on any ship.
It's especially important, like in Star Trek, because you're on the edge of the galaxy or the edge of your known space. You don't want people doubting your decisions as a captain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's no different than say we send a carrier to the South China Sea or something. It's like you could easily be out there all by yourself. I don't know, 50 miles from the rest of the fleet that took you there. You just never know. Yeah, so it's like you do without question, and if you do question, your ass is grass. Shadow says knock knock or clop clop. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Welcome to the show, there, you weirdo. These are weirdo though. All right, so now we moving forward here. I do love the way this looks, though.
Space Dock looks fucking amazing.
I know.
They've added stuff to it since Kirk's time. Like, Kirk didn't have all those little rings around the outside of it.
Yeah.
And I'm a player of Star Trek Online, so
I've been wanting to play that. Is it a lot of fun?
It's an MMO. We can talk offline about it, but it's the space combat is way better than the on the planet combat
by orders of magnitude.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I wanted to make this point. The decision they make later on at the end of this season is the guys that make Star Trek Online, they're gonna have to change some canon in their game to reflect something they do at the end of the season. And we can talk about it when we get to that episode.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Before we go too much further here, there is something in the last scene with Raffi that I did skip over. So it's revealed at the end of that scene that she is not just a junkie, although she is struggling with that. She is undercover working for Starfleet Intelligence, and she has an unidentified handler who only speaks to her via text.
Yes. Yes,
that is important.
correct.
That does come back later, and I did skip over that, so my bad.
Yes, that is a very good point, and I did forget about that. Yes, she's not just a junkie, but she's definitely still she's not doing well. She's off the wagon.
Yeah. She asks, she's like, you don't have any idea how hard this is for me, and the unknown handler says, yes, I do, and pulls up her entire record, her service record, her criminal record, all of that shit, and puts it on screen.
Yeah, and of course, if you're a fucking junkie, I don't think you should necessarily be working undercover in that world, but whatever. So
You and I are two highly ranked members of Starfleet doing a routine surprise inspection.
We could be court-martialed for this. You could lose everything you work for.
Only if we get caught. You got to sell this.
I got a question for you guys.
yeah,
So you're both veterans. Can you be court-martialed if you are retired?
not that I know of. No, because you don't fall under the uniform code of military justice anymore. You're just a civilian.
Yeah, as soon as
You
you
can-
leave the military, I mean, you may be in ready reserve if you're an officer, but
if I guess if you do something fraudulent against the government or something like that, you could possibly lose your retirement benefits.
Okay. The reason I ask is because Picard is retired here. He's a retired admiral. Yeah,
True. I guess the thing is though is that maybe they're.
I think Riker is still
is
still active Starfleet. He just doesn't have a post currently.
Maybe that's kind of what Picard means is that Riker could be court-martialed. He could lose, Picard could lose his retirement benefits, and just the best way to put it was, instead of being so wordy, just say we could both be court-martialed. Basically losing everything.
It was just a question, because I was like, that doesn't quite make sense if he's retired to me.
It didn't make sense to me. But I did kind of think of it as as somebody who does, you can lose your benefits. You can lose your government benefits if you do something fraudulent, or you step out of line, or you try to obviously in your retirement access a
start a war.
Something of that magnitude. You could really fuck your shit up and go to jail.
Also, retired military can sometimes carry their security clearance with them, and if you were to do anything criminal, you could potentially lose your access to your security clearance.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
And retired military officers all the time are still given access to military bases. Whether or not they're doing work for the military, like writing a book, sponsoring military based programs for soldiers or veterans and stuff like that. So technically you could still be considered a Department of Defense employee. So I think that's where they were going with that. Nano Reapers, I still like the first ship from Discovery, the Miranda class look-alike. I don't know what that is.
I know which one he's talking about.
I know what he's talking about too.
It's in Star Trek Online.
Nano Reaper as well. If you are an officer, you can because they can reactivate your commission up to age 65, and then court-martial. It would be extremely rare. You would basically have to piss off the Joint Chiefs. Well, yeah.
I actually saw after 9/11,
cool.
someone got reactivated after 9/11 that I was serving with. Like, they came back and they were old as shit.
I believe that. I absolutely 100% believe that.
Come on, Admiral, show me your inspection face. Give me one of those.
What were we gonna say, Samuel?
Just real quick, something else that I missed. Speaking on, so with Raffi, there's a plot device that comes up that is important to this episode. She is looking for something or someone called the Red Lady.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But she does not know what that is.
No, and that was in the dialogue too, which we didn't really go through. It was just a bunch of talking and stuff like that, and it was easier to kind of narrate through it.
Rigid, disapproving, sour expressions you're famous for.
Like that.
There it is.
There it is.
Hello.
Admiral Picard, Captain Riker, welcome to the Titan. Initiate docking sequence.
This is a beautiful ship too.
Agreed.
You know, one thing that they missed out on was doing a
What's
show on Riker on the Titan.
I
You guys hear me?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because he left the Enterprise to go captain the Titan. They should have done a series of Riker captaining the first version of the Titan.
Which I believe the first version of the Titan was a fighter transport, wasn't it?
No, it was a science ship.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, I seem to remember there was a Titan somewhere. Maybe I'm thinking of one of the old PS1 Star Trek games or some shit.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, regardless, the Neo Constitution class, the retrofit that they did here is stunning. I think it's a beautiful design.
I like it, but I have to agree with Az. I don't really like the engine nacelles.
That's fair enough. I'm a little. I also wanted to mention here that they use the music, I think, throughout this season masterfully. It comes up when it's needed. It throws the member bearers back in your face at the appropriate times, but it's never intrusive.
Absolutely. Something that was missing from the first two seasons. They did not play any actual Star Trek music.
Yeah. No, they didn't. Nano says, I also think the best looking Enterprise is the NC 1701C. That is from obviously the Next Generation. If you yesterday's Enterprise, I love that fucking episode. That is an incredible,
fantastic episode.
Episode.
That was a great.
Fucking
that was one of the first. I think that was one of the first. I think that was one of the first episodes of TNG I watched.
Well, was it really?
I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, and it was also good to see Tasha Yar come back in that role because obviously obviously she ended up leaving the show, but it kind of felt like when she did leave the show, her character was killed off needlessly, and I like that they'd addressed that in that episode. And but no, it was really incredible. I really love that episode and how they changed everything to where they'd been at war for years. And it was just like, it was fucking incredible.
Well, and that episode actually affects the storyline and a lot of the off-screen canon as well, because obviously when she goes back, the sea is not totally wiped out. She gets captured by the Romulans, and which leads to the birth of the half Romulan Sela, who becomes head of Tal Shiar, and then eventually of the Romulan Star Empire. She becomes Empress of the Romulan Star Empire.
There's a whole story arc on that in Star Trek Online about
Sela
and her mother.
And they got Denise Crosby to come back and voice Sela.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. But yes, no, what we were just talking about, I do very much like the way the Titan look. It's got a very nostalgic look to it. So
this right here, this is like every classic, like you think of Star Trek, but like the first thing that comes to mind is when they see the Protector the first time in Galaxy Quest. That feeling you get of like this is a special ship.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of Galaxy Quest, they're Amazon's supposed to be rebooting it. I don't know if it's going to be like a reboot, but I'll tell you what, if it doesn't have the original cast, obviously, minus
Alan Rickman.
Thank you, Alan Rickman. Who obviously, but it needs to have the whole entire original cast, including Tim Allen. And they need to pay homage to Alan Rickman. And I think you'll have a hit on your hands. If you fuck that up, it's fucking done. And like even Gary Nerdrotic, he's like, I love Galaxy Quest. Like Galaxy Quest is a great movie. It's a fun movie.
Probably one of the best Star Trek movies ever made.
Yeah,
that's no joke. No, I know that's
everything
about Star Trek.
Yeah.
I gotta ask Nano Reaper, do you play on PC or console? He plays Star Trek Online apparently. So
I used to play on console for a while there, but I sort of fell off.
I play on Xbox.
Oh, do you? Is it cross-platform?
Yeah, it is not. No, it's not. Unfortunately, I wish it was, but
he says PC. I was gonna play it on PC because I've been wanting to play it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I play on Xbox with I've been playing recently with Commander Phil because he has been watching, based on my recommendations, TNG for the first time.
Nice.
Oh, so good.
I wish I was in his shoes watching that show for the first time.
Yeah, you got to get past those first couple of seasons are a little bit rough around the edges.
You get into
but,
season 3 is where it really picks up.
And then 4, 5, and 6 are fucking incredible.
Yeah, season 1 I think is the roughest. Obviously, season 2 I think picked up for me personally. But yeah, as you go along, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the best ones. I was actually, what the fuck were we watching? I don't know. One of the last things we were fucking reviewing, which is with trash. I was watching The Next Generation as a palate cleanser because it's so terrible. Everything's so terrible. But yeah, so
Your old command.
It's the only sway I've got. It's the new refit Neo Constitution class. Now the fleet
I don't
can be
hate it.
dispersing from exercise.
No, I like it.
It's pretty.
And that should give us a little freedom to operate.
Ship porn.
The captain,
Mhm.
Shaw, is going to need some convincing.
I got a half chub right now.
Well, Beverly's coordinates are just outside the economy, changing course and take to the border.
Then we'll take a shuttle from there.
Captain Shaw's not going to like that either.
You're cleared to land on pad 6.
I don't know him.
He's not a friendly face.
yeah, he's a super douche.
This is, well, is he though?
He's kind of a douche. Yeah. Look, I get it. What they're doing is bad, but he's also a super douche. He's very into himself.
I think, I want to get too much further into this, but yes,
the way he is,
he comes off real hard at the beginning, and he does the way he greets them. He doesn't greet them when they, we're about to get to that. So, but yeah, he doesn't greet them when they dock. He's very rude to them when he does finally see them. But
it's character development.
Yeah.
It is, yes. Yes,
throughout the season, it's character development. Something we're missing from shows nowadays.
I gotta be honest. Shaw's probably one of my favorite new Star Trek characters ever.
And the fact that we're missing character development, and it's just so lazy that everybody is just like these polished characters, and it's nonsensical. Nana Reaper says he's a Starfleet captain that acts like an actual captain.
Yep.
I would say, yeah, absolutely. He does act like a Starfleet captain. He does have a dick side though, and it's not very captain like, not greeting them boarding. I
gotta point out though, you go back to season 1 and 2 of TNG, Picard was kind of dickish at times, and he
he was. Yeah, he was firm, very firm. But that's one reason you liked him though too. He was very firm, but he was very fair. Oh, they just clipped us.
Nope. All right. So,
I had the screen up too long. That's it rolled over.
We can just do the audio if you need to.
Yeah, we'll just do the audio. We were good. So it was kind of shocking that
and it was paused too.
It was paused. That's what was kind of weird. But it's okay.
It looks like we're back up. At least on the one side.
Okay, if you're back up, I'm not. But this happens to me a lot. Because I do I Game of Thrones, so I think YouTube is a little more sensitive to me.
You've highlighted yourself a few too many times.
Yeah. You've gotten their attention. Now you're back up too.
Yeah, I'm back up too. So we're gonna do the audio, and what I'll do is I'll bounce in between, just like show it, then kind of take it off, and then kind of show, and just like highlighted parts that are important. But yeah, here's the audio going forward. No, YouTube is not my friend when it comes to this stuff.
Permission to come aboard, Commander.
Permission granted, sir.
This is Captain William Wright. Will, this is 7 of 9.
Commander Annika Hansen, sir. Captain Shaw prefers that I use Hansen.
Now, for those of you who can't see, this is 7 of 9. It's Jerry Ryan back in the role, and she is the first officer of the Titan. At this point,
I did like seeing Riker meet 7 of 9.
Yeah, that was cool.
I did too.
So, and I think she's a fantastic character. She's one of the best parts of Voyager.
It came as quite a surprise, but I'm sure you'll find everything up to inspection standards.
Agreed.
Captain Shaw is catching up on some logs at the moment.
There you go. So now you guys can see what's up.
If I were you, I'd lower my expectations.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily against protocol for a first officer to greet honored guests.
And
No,
the captain should have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for two admirals, yeah, the captain should have been there.
I think Riker is still captain at this point, but yeah.
No, well, okay. I thought he was an admiral.
Got that new ship smell.
Good new ship smell.
I like how they're playing the TNG music.
With that, Hanson.
Enter the forge. Eyes on your station.
The forge? Sitting in the forge.
Here we meet Geordi's kid.
Geordi said you always wanted to be a pilot. Said you were a bit of a speed demon.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a new female character who isn't insufferable.
I can't recall.
Yeah.
Crash LaForge because you crashed the shuttle?
I mean, they humanize her right here with that line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nano says, yeah, one admiral and one and a captain. That's not uncommon, obviously, for an admiral to have have like a lower enlisted, even though a captain is still a pretty big deal. But yeah, no, the captain of the ship should have been there, especially for somebody who outranks him as an admiral.
Yeah.
So your ass should have been there.
If you look back to the Next Generation, with the exception of people who are coming to visit specific personnel, right, like family members or whatnot, Picard is nearly always in the transporter room. He's nearly always in the shuttle bay when important guests disembark, because he is not only representative of the ship for Starfleet, but he is also Starfleet's ambassador to important guests from other worlds and other civilizations.
Yep.
The captain is always present for anything like that, including inspections.
And he's always present and overseeing negotiations between different dignitaries of other systems. And obviously, you see that a lot on TNG. And so no.
Right. And the tradition is, if I remember correctly, that if once they transport in or they disembark on the shuttle, they need to ask the captain of the ship permission to come aboard.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to grant it. I mean, it's and if he's not there to do that, it's just like, what are we doing?
The thing is this is building towards development of the story, because you get and I don't want to spoil it, but later episode you get to understand why Shaw has disdain for Riker and Picard.
Yeah,
and especially Picard. But
I think
I don't want to spoil it yet.
Yeah, later on in this episode, he hints at it pretty strongly.
Yeah,
but yeah, like immediately they get taken to the bridge and get shown around. We just meet, I believe it's Sydney LaForge, who is Geordi LaForge's daughter, and unlike her father, she is not an engineer but a pilot.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because the obvious choice would make her an engineer, and they didn't, which I found more fascinating, honestly.
Right, and that actually that contributes to some stuff later on between her and other characters. Again, I'm trying to dance around shit here.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything from future episodes that we're going to talk about yet.
Yeah, but she is immediately humanized by that line, Crash LaForge, talking about her past. She's like, that only happened once.
Yeah,
she's
literally about to say, she's like, I was a cadet, and but it's still, it humanizes her.
She is embarrassed and she is taken aback, and she's also in awe because she has heard stories about these two men her whole life from her father, and so she's a little bit starstruck here too.
And I appreciated the fact that she had a call sign, because coming from the military, even if you aren't a pilot, people earn nicknames. You earn them by stupid shit you
quickly.
do.
You do something fucking retarded, yeah,
you earn a nickname and it sticks with you.
Absolutely, it does. Oh gosh darn it!
Twice.
Oh.
Twice. Oh.
Well, it's good to see you again.
I quite liked Sydney, actually.
Comms, get me the dock master.
Mm-hmm.
Control tower reading, Commander.
Space dock, this is Titan. Requesting permission to depart.
Permission granted. Opening starboard doors.
All hands prepare to leave space dock.
All hands to your stations.
I don't care how much Star Trek you watch. That leaving Space Dock is always a fucking epic experience.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just remember, what was it?
I
Star
had
Trek?
a huge fucking smile on my face when this was happening.
Was it Star Trek 3 or when they hijacked the Enterprise and the Excelsior was like following them trying to follow them out of Space Dock?
Yeah,
that was epic scene.
Yeah, I think that was Star Trek 3. Yeah, because they hijacked the.
It was the original Enterprise because it gets destroyed at the end of the movie. So yeah, that was 3.
Right, that was definitely 3 because then they had the Search for Spock. Great movie.
Yes, it's been a long time since there's so much Star Trek I should catch up on. I think I'm going to do it in my free time when I'm to try to balance some of the bad shows that are coming out.
Get that taste out of your mouth.
Yeah,
that taste of Kurtzman dick.
So I've been
he's been teabagging the fan base for fucking 6 years now.
He doesn't like the D.
No, so like God, so like what, The Witcher, we got The Witcher season 3 coming out. So I've been rewatching The Witcher season 1 and I'm gonna rewatch 1 and 2. Like rewatching The Witcher season 1 it's already been really fucking awesome. And I was like, man, I so enjoyed this. And yes, it had its problems, but fuck. And it's just like to see what happened between season 1, between season 2, and what's going to happen in 3. Can't they just leave good things alone? I don't understand. I don't know. I know I'm just fucking like, fucking nitpicking or whatever, but it's just like, Jesus Christ.
That's what it is, man.
It's just tired of them destroying good shit. All because some fucking lady who has fucking 87 cats is having a fucking fit.
Question permission to depart.
Permission granted. Opening starboard doors.
All hands prepare to leave Space Dock.
All hands to your stations.
Sir, I'm awaiting your orders to take us out.
Why don't you do us the honor, Commander Henson?
Aye, sir.
Which I very much like, because she is a beloved character.
I am a little torn on it, but he is the ranking officer and all that stuff, but he is also a guest on the ship, so
yeah. Well, and look, I know Jerry Ryan, she's kind of a weirdo on Twitter too, but she plays the character well. She's been a beloved character ever since Voyager, and I'm okay with it. It's not something that's going to break the bank, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I was good with it because I very much enjoyed Voyager.
I do think she was completely out of character in the first 2 seasons or whenever it was she came in.
She came in the first season here.
Yeah, she was in the first season, and that's when they made her a lesbitron.
They did that at the end of the thing. She comes in as a ranger who's hunting for other ex-Borg so that she can, like, I don't know.
Well,
none of that storyline makes any goddamn sense.
No, and they also
Porchicote.
Yeah, they made her a fucking lesbian pretty fucking quick too. They're like, oh,
wasn't she dating Chakotay at the end of Voyager?
She was.
Yeah. So I guess she's bisexual. I don't know.
He might be dead for all we know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would like to rewatch Voyager too.
Voyager was nice because DS9. What I liked about TNG is they're in a ship. Each episode is a different story. They're out exploring. DS9 had a different feel. And I liked the last 2 seasons of DS9 because it was the Dominion War.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Voyager took it back to, hey, we're doing episodic. We're exploring, but we're trying to get home. I enjoyed that. But
I think,
not every episode was that exciting to me. I had episodes that were really amazing on Voyager, but
I'd agree. There are some standout episodes, but overall the series just wasn't on the same level, and they had, I think, more potential to explore the conflicts with their crew because what happens at the beginning of Voyager to get them in that position in the first place directly ties into earlier shit that was going on Deep Space Nine with the Maquis.
Yeah.
And they ended up with this blended crew or whatever, and they really there was some stuff with B'Elanna Torres that kind of tied into that, and a little bit with Chakotay, because they were both Maquis, but they didn't really. And I get how, like, in later seasons, they went 7 seasons. I get how in later seasons they would be more of a stronger unit together and all that, but they really had a lot of missed opportunities in the beginning.
Yeah, after the first season, they kind of brushed past that blended crew thing, and it never really re-emerged. Much.
I started watching Next Generation as a kid, probably around the age of like 9, 10, whatever. I actually ended up skipping Deep Space Nine because I guess as a kid, I didn't really understand the premise. Like my parents liked Next Generation, but they didn't watch Deep Space Nine, so I never really. I started like kind of getting into wrestling and stuff like that. So and I think Star Trek was on Sunday nights. And I think at the time, anyway. So yeah, I kind of skipped over Deep Space Nine, and then of course had a teacher in school. She showed us an episode of Voyager, as I don't know why, I can't remember, but we watched an episode of Voyager for like a class assignment, and it kind of got me back into Star Trek again. And so I kind of watched them out of order. So I probably don't have as many nitpicks as say probably you guys do who watch them in actual order.
I watched them when they aired.
Yeah, well, exactly. So you watch. So I watched Voyager when it aired, but no, Deep Space Nine. I do want to go back and rewatch after Next Generation because it's been that long.
So I was about 7, 8 years old when the Next Generation debuted, and I watched it, every week with my mom, who was who watched the original series with her family every week.
Was it 87?
86.
Was it 86?
It was 87. Yeah, it was.
Okay. So yeah, I was like 2.
Yeah, I came into
maybe
TNG.
I
think it was season 2 or 3 that I started watching TNG, and I was born in 81, so do the math. But no, I enjoyed it.
So I would have been about probably 8 when I started watching Next Generation then. So
actually,
I was a young kid.
I want to say the first Star Trek anything I ever watched was Wrath of Khan, and my dad showed it to me. And that was an amazing movie. That's a great place to introduce someone to Star Trek.
My mother has a VHS tape that has the TOS episode, The Space Seed, and immediately after that, The Wrath of Khan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Back when you could VHS. Good old VHS.
Record shit off TV.
Mm-hmm.
I know if it didn't have the tab, you'd like take it, you'd like fold a little paper strip and then tape it on there so you could record on the tape. Memories. I still have a fucking VCR. I'm not joking.
Watercolored memories.
All right. We're about halfway through this episode. We're doing pretty good. It's about how we do on Monday nights, so I'm enjoying it.
Aft thrusters 1/4 impulse power. Hi, Commander. Aft thrusters 1/4 impulse power.
Yeah, you did.
I missed the techno jargon.
Yeah, they did.
I just don't like how dark the bridge is.
Yeah.
Put some lights on. Damn it.
I will admit that. Yeah, I'll admit that.
It's a good thing the buttons
they're
light
trying
up,
to
right?
make it. Yeah, they're trying to make it more cinematic, like movies. But this is a TV show. Come on.
Yeah. No, I love that view. That's a good looking ass.
Well, not just that, but like you look out in front of it. You got got the edge of the earth and the space beyond. I mean, that is always a stunning sight.
Yeah. No, I know, but no, I'm all about the ship porn because I love cars and shit, and I love I love airplanes, and I think that no, the ship porn is one of my favorite things about Star Trek. I think Star Trek does ship porn better than anybody. And that's including Star Wars with the X-Wings, the Millennium Falcon, blah, 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 blah. Yes, the Star Trek has the best ship porn.
I think that was the thing that got me most interested in Star Trek was the ships. I enjoyed the hell out of them.
No, 100% agreed. Look at that shit. That's good looking. That's a good looking ship.
That's pretty smexy.
never heard the term smexy, but I like it. Okay, so
you don't go to the same parties I do.
No, I don't go to any parties. I'm younger than you, but I'm fucking old. I act fucking old.
Are these the parties where you put your keys into a fishbowl?
I'm not that fucking old.
No, that was my parents that did that. Jesus.
Man, I'm only like a year older than you, dude.
Fucking Christ. All right, everybody. It's always in that fucking tacky looking fucking like 70s style fucking crystal glass fucking fishbowl looking thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta get that shag carpet and the faux wood panel.
Yeah, the fucking shag carpet. Oh my god, it reminds me that I love watching old episodes of like Unsolved Mysteries, seeing like fucking like late 80s shit or early 80s and late 70s, like going tonight on Unsolved Mysteries. And it's just like
fake wood paneling and shag carpet.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, I do. I love the shit out of. I enjoy fucking old shows like that so much more than I do modern ones. But anyway,
All stations prepare for maximum warp.
All engines online. Priming deflector shields for warp.
Don't you think we should alert engineering that we're going to warp 9.99?
That's no longer protocol on the newer models of the fleet. It's all automated now.
It's another indication that he's retired. Is that he's not up on modern protocol?
yes, no, and I do that like that because he's like, oh, my bad, shit. But you know what's funny is that even Riker's kind of like, Admiral.
Something I got to add is Picard. So, based on stuff they've said during TNG, they've alluded to how old he is, and in TNG, based on that, he should be like 60-something years old in TNG. And it's supposed to point out the fact that humanity has evolved, or not evolved, but had technology to the point where people live longer to later ages. So, at this point, he's like in his 90s in the show, but so in TNG, he would have been in his 60s. Even though in real life, he was in his 40s, late 40s when he first started TNG. So,
yeah, and there was the episode where the only I think surviving member of the original Enterprise's crew, Bones McCoy, visits the ship, and he looks ancient, and he does, because it's been 87 years since the 5-year mission of the original Enterprise. But that puts him, I think, somewhere in the range of 127, 123, somewhere in there.
But based on technology has allowed people to live longer.
Yeah, and I think that his presence there illustrated that very, very well. And that would have been that was what, second season, I think.
Actually, that was the first episode.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right, because they were
his first or second episode. He shows up. Yeah,
I think it might have been the second, because they were.
Either way, it was kind of a handing over the baton from the original crew to the new generation.
Right, but yeah, he has an interesting conversation with Data too. But yeah, anyway, point is that the technology had increased to a point where they could extend human life. Like he should have been long dead at that point, and he wasn't.
Yeah,
by our standards.
Yeah, no, and trust me, in this, Picard definitely looks like he's in his late 80s or 90s. So
I think that he looks younger in this season than he did in the first.
No, I would agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I think I part of me kind of thinks that maybe he was feeling a little more excited, nostalgic about everybody getting back together. Because he seems a lot more lively in this season than he did previously. It kind of feels like they're wheeling around the corpse of like Joe Biden a little bit. And in this, he definitely seems a lot more lively. That's the only way to put it. So I don't know if it's just because he was excited, maybe whatever he had ailing him the last two seasons.
He was done. He was done with his apology tour, so he was excited.
Yeah, I guess. He's like, I took my fucking lumps and we fucking killed fucking almost the franchise, but he's like, I'm back. But yeah.
that expression is perfect. I'm back.
Welcome
I'm back, bitches.
I'm back, motherfuckers. Oh my god.
I think though that like especially we're not right just here, but as we go down, like he's still showing a little bit of the inclination of the Picard from season 1, and a little bit of that, but he really comes back to by the end of the season, he really comes back to the Jean-Luc that we knew 30 years ago, 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago now.
Yeah, I would also say too, though, that this is actually also a drastic improvement over 1 and 2 already. So yes, it's good to see.
Of course, you're going to be a captain before you know it, Commander Hans.
Excellent recovery, Admiral.
Shut it, Will.
I
like that. I like that.
I have to show that, like.
You're going to be a captain before you know it, Commander Hans.
Excellent recovery, Admiral.
Shut it, Will.
Right there. That's the old Picard.
I like how he says Will. Like that's more of a friend.
Yeah.
A friendly snapback. If it was professional, he would have said Riker, but he said Will.
Yeah, that tickled the shit out of me. I love that part. He's like, shut it, Will. And there she blows. All right. Now we get to meet the captain.
This is Shaw's introduction, and it is an interesting introduction. I mean, they choose
it's super
specific music, specific. Like he's drinking wine.
Admiral Jean-Luc Picard and Captain William Riker.
But again, it sets up a story on why he despises Picard.
Yeah, it does. So
it also I think informs his character as very orderly, as very by the book. And which he reinforces with some of his statements in this conversation. But I think just that very introduction and how neat his plate is set out, how the specific choice in music, that kind of thing, and I mean even his uniform's in like tip top shape as he's dining.
Yeah, and just to show something from the caption, and he says, "And Hansen, there really is no need for intros," which also it alludes to the fact that not just because Picard and Riker are obviously their legacy, their legacy Starfleet, but there's a little bit more personalness there, and
really is no need for intros.
Well, they're also very famous, and he is familiar with their records as well.
Their careers precede them.
Yes, absolutely.
I apologize, Captain. Are we late?
Hardly. Just your reputation preceded you so far into the room that I started early.
And we begin with rudeness.
Well,
yeah.
As a token of appreciation.
Go ahead.
No, I was just tripping over my tongue. Don't worry about it.
You're good.
Your hospitality, please accept it.
Oh, Chateau Picard. That is terrific. I'm much more of a Malbec man myself. Captain Riker, I take you for somewhat of a Romanista.
I enjoy the occasional old-fashioned. What gave you that idea?
All the bebop that I had to purge from the system when I took the chair. Speaks to your freewheeling, loosey-goosey Kentucky mash kind of style.
Not a fan of that.
That's a good line.
Loosey-goosey.
He's such a dick. God, he sucks. He sucks so bad in the beginning here. But then again, of course,
he explains why.
But later you see his motivations in later episodes we'll get to, but
yeah. And that's the character arc we're talking about.
I am not. I like structure. I like meter. I like keeping tempo and time, which is why you will probably find this inspection boring for the likes of you two.
Oh, it's just all in advance of the fleet exercises for Frontier Day.
Well, ensuring the condition of our starships would be boring.
Well, we won't be blowing things up. Taking or engaging in fire, crash landing expectedly or unexpectedly. The usual for you boys. You will find our engines pristine, our hull intact, and you run your finger on pretty much any given surface here, you're going to find it dust-free.
No doubt. Indeed. Which is why Captain Riker and I would like to change course.
Where?
Yep. Very unhappy.
The face. Where?
Very unhappy. This is a man who does not like disruptions in schedule. Period.
Nope.
And he already doesn't like these men.
To be fair, it is his ship. And
Yes,
these
it
are
is.
guests. So them asking him to change direction, he's like, "No, this is my ship. I have a schedule to keep to."
Yes, and I mean, and that is something that is very fair on his part. Obviously, you know, the way he acted in the beginning, but however, yes, changing course is very out of character for, because it is his ship.
The Riken system.
That's at the edge of Federation space in the opposite direction of our intended course, twice the time.
At half warp, double this speed, it's an even split.
And why would we do that?
Bragging rights. You show the efficiency of the new Titan. It's a great story for Frontier Day. It's the current former captain putting it through the paces, run a little coals to the engine.
And then final engineering inspection at Deep Space 4.
I like his facial features. I really do. he sells it so well. Of like, what the fuck?
He does. Like, what the hell are you trying to get me into?
And like, and this is another indication that Picard is out of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's still in operation. You know, that sort of thing. Like, he's been retired. He hasn't been keeping up on this stuff.
No, but yeah, here you go.
PS4 has been shut down for a year.
I believe the Admiral means DS11, correct?
Awkward.
Yes, of course. 11.
No.
He had a Joe Biden moment.
No.
Yeah, right there, Shaw shows his medal.
No.
I've kept this train running for 5 years, 36 missions. You don't get where you're told to go by standing in front of it and then moving the track.
Respectfully, Captain, I am an admiral.
Retired.
No.
But I'm still a captain.
Without a chair. Titan's mine now. I'm really sorry, fellas. I love you. I do. I love reading about all your wildly exciting and equally irresponsible adventures, but I have orders that come down from actual officers whose pay grade are far above all of ours. So, request denied.
Yeah, I gotta add something. So he mentions Riker is a captain without a chair, basically. That leads me to believe that Riker is at the very end of his career, and they've taken him out of a ship, and he's like probably a year or two out from retirement.
In that situation, it's definitely possible that he might be promoted to admiral and then retire out.
Yeah, I think they're trying to allude to the fact that his career is near the end. Plus, the fact that he had issues, and I hate to allude to the previous seasons, but he had issues with his family that they probably took him out of command because of that.
Because he was compromised, yeah.
Yeah.
Emotionally speaking, not so much like, he's
But also, he may be near the end of his career anyways, and he's because I've seen that in our military. When you got someone who has been in command and they're like close to retirement, like within a year, they may take them out of command and just kind of park them somewhere until they retire.
Yep.
I'd also like to point out here that while he's doing it with a modicum of venom in his voice towards these two men, Shaw is absolutely correct in what he's saying here.
He is correct.
Yeah.
And he is doing as he has always done. And for these two individuals to come aboard and kind of demand to do this and do that is no. It's like no. And I don't blame him for that. I really don't. So the only thing I had an issue with was the rudeness in the beginning, like the the douchiness, but like towards the end there, absolutely on par for the fact it's his show.
Yeah, he justifies everything he says.
Yeah, he does justify absolutely everything he says.
So and the actor's performance, by the way, is he's fantastic throughout.
Yeah, no, I really like him as an actor. So obviously 7 to 9, she's going to try to justify for Picard and
with the Forge, they could make it the time.
Hansen, your loyalty lies with this ship, not the old friends, former ex-Borg.
That's enough, Captain.
And there,
Thank
right
you.
there,
Yeah.
he shows that he knows not only who Picard is, but who Locutus is, or was rather, and he has not forgotten that, which leads you to believe that he was perhaps present for some of those events.
And he also, unfortunately, while he did have the high, honest, moral ground, now he's actually stepping into the mud with low blows, and it's not the best look for his character, but it does. Like I said,
he clearly has a bias, and he's letting it show.
Yeah, he did the right thing by saying, no, these are our orders. This is what we need to do. He was good, and that's all he needed to do was that. But he took it a step too far.
Yeah, but the attitude he's putting out is that he's letting his personal feelings show.
Yes.
So
yeah, and that wasn't just a shot at Picard. That was also a shot at his first officer.
Yeah.
I'm headed to my quarters. Anton, you have the con. Gentlemen, I hope you find your room accommodation suitable. They were the best we could do on such short notice.
He's such an ass.
Is this the bunk beds?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like on a Starfleet ship. That's like enlisted quarters. The bunks like that.
We haven't got to the bunk beds yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, we'll get there.
It's relative, though.
It's all relative.
Here we go back to Raffi, which, yeah.
Let's just kind of slowly fill in.
All right, so I got the notes, I guess. So when we see Raffi here initially, she is looking at an image of what you come to find out is her granddaughter, who she has never met, because her son will not speak to her, because she was always off running around with Starfleet or up to her eyeballs in drugs, sometimes both, and all that. So she gets a call from her anonymous handler, who we still don't know who that is, and immediately starts trying to find the stolen experimental weapon that was stolen from one of the outposts of the Daystrom Institute, which is where they keep all the cool, crazy shit like the Genesis device kind of thing. And then she's trying to figure out who's got the weapon, where the weapon is going to be deployed, because they suspect very much that it will be deployed, and she's still looking for this red lady, this mysterious red lady. So yeah.
There's not much else to say. I mean, I didn't like Raffi at all, but like I was saying earlier in the stream, like she got better when they combined her with someone else, and I don't want to release that information yet because we're still on the first episode. But she got better, but she's still and I was saying this before. I don't know this actress from anything else. I don't know. She may be a great actress, but she can only do with the writing that she's given.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, and I've seen her in a few other things. What else was she in? Hold on.
I also jumped the gun a little bit earlier. This is where the handler drops his dick on the table with all of the information that he has on Raffi. It didn't happen in the earlier scene. It happens here.
Yeah. I know she looks so familiar. What has she been in? I've seen her in other stuff. She was in Ash versus Evil Dead. Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Ash
I
versus
haven't
Evil
seen
Dead.
The show. I keep hearing Gary talk about it. It's really good. I need to watch it.
I liked it quite a bit, but I don't remember her in it at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Was she a Deadite?
What's up?
Was she a Deadite?
Hold on. Let me look. 2016. Scrolling down. She was Samantha Reyes. I don't know. No. Sorry, my bad. She was Linda Bates Emery. My bad. I was looking at the the entry right above.
Yeah, I don't remember that character, but I'd have to go back, I guess, and watch it again. It's been a minute since I've seen it. And Alfie, I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun, but don't watch it
What
with your
streaming
kids or in the
service
house.
is it on?
Netflix, I think, or at least it was.
Okay. She's been in a lot of television shows. She hasn't been in a lot of films. But no, she's been in stuff like she's been in a lot of Law and Order, The Practice, Law and Order SVU. She was in
a lot of one episode
Bones.
parts.
Yeah, she's in a lot of kind of like crime dramas. And I have seen her in Law and Order. So yeah, that's where she's familiar from.
So this would be one of the few, maybe first, maybe second recurring roles that she has then.
I know she had a lot of recurring roles when it comes to Law and Order. She was other than that, I think she had a little bit of a recurring in Bones too. I'm a big fan of Bones.
That explains why I've never seen her in anything. I don't like those shows.
Well, I'm not a huge Law and Order fan, but I love Bones. But I do know of Law and Order, and she was a big character in that. So obviously we see she, dishonorable discharge.
Find the Red Lady.
Find the Red Lady, and I will play this.
Find the Red Lady.
It's important to note here that that's the voice of the computer, not the voice of her handler.
Yes, that's the voice of the computer. Because it's all done through messages.
Find the Red Lady. It's a plot device, but
ship porn.
Yeah,
touching it.
If you don't know what Smexy means, this is what Smexy means.
Yes, and I didn't know what Smexy means first, but I understand it now. So we are back on the Titan. I gotta show it. I gotta.
Oh, is this the bunk beds?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bunk beds.
Yes, it is.
I have to wonder if those are the same bunk props that they had Tilly
we were
on.
talking about how the.
Wait,
we have to go back. This goes back to the fact that the captain didn't, greet these dignitaries,
and
then he puts them on bunk beds.
I just like
an admiral and a retired admiral and a captain you wouldn't put on bunk beds.
No,
So
but
he's-
it's so funny. It's so funny.
It is funny. I like the slight comedy.
Yeah, I have to back it up. I'm sorry. I gotta back it up. The commentary is so funny.
Let's go back.
This is utterly humiliating.
Yes, it is. Reminds me of my cadet days. Only I don't remember having to get up to pee this much.
The way we left it. It was not on the best of terms.
This is great.
I never believed for a moment that it would be over 20 years before we.
None of us did.
What if it's already too late, Will?
Admiral Picard, Captain Riker, please report to
I like the comedy leads into a very deep conversation right there.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's nice that it doesn't, because the usual trope these days is to do something significant and then undercut it with some bullshit joke.
Yeah.
And this does it the opposite way, and it does it beautifully. It segues nicely into that. Although in my notes, all I have is Picard Riker being old.
Well, they are old. I'm okay.
They are. In this scene, they're both being old, and they're complaining about being old, and they're reminiscing, and and then it leads back into the story.
I mean, let's be honest, dudes. Like, if they put our fucking old asses, like, late 30s, early 40s on fucking bunk beds, would we not wake up in the morning fucking feeling like ass?
Dude, I'd probably stop getting up to pee and just pee on you if I was on the top bunk. So I ain't risking it. I ain't risking breaking a hip every 20 minutes.
And if that bunk starts rocking, don't ask questions.
Jesus, that's good shit right there. I'll tell you what. But yeah, no. In all honesty, it goes from a funny moment and then it leads into something serious, and that's how it should be because it gives you a little bit of a break, but then it brings you right back in to where the series should be.
Good evening, sir. I apologize for interrupting your sleep.
What is it?
Permission to speak freely, sir.
Go ahead.
You're going to tell me what the hell you two are really doing here, or I'm about to throw both of you out an airlock and never look back.
Watch it, Commander. Is that how you speak to an
That's
admiral?
how I speak to a friend.
I also like how Riker steps up and he's like, no, you don't talk to an admiral this way.
Yeah.
You know, I do appreciate that, but she, you know, her snapback is also, I mean, you know, when she knew Picard a couple seasons ago, regardless of how bad that shit was, it was as friends. She was not his subordinate.
No, it was as friends, and as I've said, 7 of 9 was a character that was very much enjoyed and appreciated from Voyager. So no, I'm okay with this. You know, because you know Will and you know and Jean-Luc do the same thing. It's like, you know, it's no different than he's like, shut it, Will. You know, she's frustrated. She's like, the hell are you doing here? What the fuck is going on?
Right.
She's
and
like,
Picard also did just give her permission to speak freely.
Yeah.
I will say this. They didn't do a very good job in the first 2 seasons of explaining why Picard has such a relationship with 7 of 9.
No, they didn't.
No.
They never set that up well.
They didn't do anything well. I think that's the best way to look at that.
I think they expect you to assume that there is a connection, a bond, because they're both former Borg.
Maybe, but still, it was weak.
Yeah.
I mean,
because she would have been a part of the collective when he was Locutus, so she would have known him there too.
Yes. So no, that's probably gosh darn it, I fucking hit the thing again.
The thing, not the thing.
Anything but the thing.
Shut up, fuckers. I fucking hate you both.
I received a coded distress call from Beverly Crusher, former doctor on the Enterprise.
She's wounded. She said trust no one, including Starfleet.
We didn't want you to become complicit.
Now, she was also
Jeopardize your
former head of Starfleet Medical.
Mm-hmm.
I was a ranger.
I think it was the season 2 when she was missing that she became head of medical.
Yeah, when they had Pulaski fill in, who is
a lot of people make fun of Pulaski, but she wasn't a horrible doctor.
No, she was competent. She just wasn't. She just wasn't, I think, cut out for long range, you know, space travel.
I think it was the bedside manner that got her.
Yeah, but she was a very competent doctor.
Man, you guys are filling in on some stuff that I don't know about seasons 1 and 2. So I'm kind of glad that
you gotta go back and watch it, man.
I plan to, even though yes, they're dumpster fires. I'm going to watch them.
I went back and I've been rewatching with Commander Phil, so I've recently watched season 1 and 2. So
I thought about maybe doing watch parties on Twitch. So we all kind of suffer together. Yeah, I thought I kind of thought about doing that. And it's the same reason that I'm going back and rewatching Witcher season 1 and 2 is because it's like you got to kind of go back because it just leads into the dumpster fire that's coming. But this was the other way around, which is good.
Well, I mean, you say season 1 and 2 are dumpster fire, but they're dumpster fire for a different reason.
Yeah, and
it's
like
not
said,
because of the message.
Well, I heard it wasn't just a message. It was poor writing. It's poor character development. You know, it was just sloppy all the way around.
Season 1 and 2 of TNG. You know.
Oh no, I was talking about Picard. Sorry.
Yeah, TNG season 1 and 2 have their issues, but
yeah,
a lot of it was chemistry though too. It's like they didn't. They had not gelled as a production crew, let alone a starship crew.
And I get a little bit of shit for this, but look, I like the Big Bang Theory as a show. I know it's like kind of
I do
controversial.
too.
Well,
I didn't hate it.
I didn't either. I actually very much enjoyed it. But yes, season 1 has its problems. Season 2 much better. Season 3 is where it gets incredible. And a lot of people are like, well, they're making fun of fandom. They're making fun of nerds. I'm like, no, they make fun of everybody. They make fun
I didn't
of
really watch it. I don't know.
They make fun of nerds. They make fun of like jocks. They make fun of like the high school prom queen. Like they make fun of everybody, and that's why it's a fun show.
I can understand why some people have an issue with that show, but
yeah, and I mean,
personally enjoyed it.
Yeah, I personally enjoyed it too. I own all 12 seasons, and I absolutely love watching it. And the little things, like when they're talking Klingon, they do a pretty fucking damn good job. And what is it? There's a Klingon. There's a Klingon library or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of like
about the Klingon Dictionary by Michael Okuda.
No, there's like a panel of people who are actually kind of like Klingon experts or something like that.
Yeah,
and they actually say that that the Big Bang Theory actually does a damn good job of actually getting the pronunciation and the words right. And it's like that should tell you that they actually do give a shit.
All those guys are experts in what Michael Okuda created. Michael Okuda created the Klingon language. He put out 2 volumes of one of them was all about syntax rules. One of them was the dictionary, and that sort of thing. So everything Klingon in terms
Alf,
of
are you vacuuming your ball? What are you doing?
What? No.
Well, that wasn't you. That buzzing noise. It sounded like a vacuum.
No.
Samuel, was that you?
I don't know what you mean.
Do you still hear it?
The fuck are you doing, Samuel? Okay, sorry, Alf.
I was in the middle of a sentence is what I was doing. Then you started talking about horny Alf balls.
No,
no, we're good.
Some motherfucker's guilty, and it's not me.
I just, you want to fixate on another man's balls other than the topic at hand. That's fine.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Gay.
Apparently, he likes furry balls.
Go eat a fucking pussy. This got derailed.
Right.
This got fucking derailed. All right, let's try to get back on track.
That was your fault, fucker.
I did say it wasn't.
Trust my instincts. This is an unjust universe. But then you and Janeway convinced me to join Starfleet. Thought
I
could be the right path for me. I thought.
Oh.
Okay, so Janeway gets mentioned
in Starfleet.
Yeah, Janeway gets mentioned a couple times here. And she appears, I think, in was it in Nemesis as an admiral?
Was she in Nemesis?
Yeah, she shows up on she's the one who gives Picard his orders with the Enterprise E. Because she's the one, not at the very end. She's the one who dispatches the Enterprise E to Romulus in the first place.
Okay, I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, so
you're right. You're right.
Having watched Voyager, I take issue with the fact that she's a fucking admiral. I get that she did what she had to do to get him home.
Necessarily, because Picard had passed up admiral several times.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but she broke protocol and the Prime Directive multiple times. Deliberately.
So did Picard.
Yes, and that's also true. But I do take issue with she did a number of things that could be considered war crimes during the course of Voyager. She woke up the
Voyager. It's been a while since I've watched it.
What was that name of that snake-necked race that she woke up? They were hibernating, and everybody was glad they were hibernating because when they were awake, they were killing everybody.
They had like a world war on their planet, and they woke up and they decided to start like reconquering.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember that.
How far past? No, I guess it wouldn't be that far, would it? What's the time frame between Voyager and Nemesis?
Voyager ended in
20 years.
2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Nemesis,
and Nemesis-
Nemesis came out about the same time, 2003.
What was? I thought it was 2004.
That might have been, but she
Might
would
have
have been. So
I,
they would have been
I
back.
think I was in the military when it came out, so it was 4 or 5.
Meaning
Isn't there like
she
a
just
huge time
came
jump
back.
at the end of Voyager, though?
What's up?
Isn't there a time jump at the end of Voyager?
I don't remember. That's
I don't think so.
that's a fucking phenomenal question. I don't remember if there is. I haven't watched it since it aired, so that's no idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
just-
I could see her being an admiral, and the reason I say this is because she still was she did a lot of stuff by the book. However, and I think she was meant to kind of like reflect a little bit the female version of Picard.
You know, being from the military, I can see her getting rewarded for the fact that she brought a ship back from the Delta Quadrant, 70,000 light years away.
I mean,
I can see them like, hey, you did this crazy thing.
Yeah,
you know, you saved these lives and you brought them back within their lifetime.
Well, also Voyager was well received though too. You know, I'm not saying everybody loved it, but you know, Voyager was pretty well received. And so I could see them actually, as it being well received, them advancing her as a character. Was she my favorite? No, absolutely not. She was not my favorite of the series. I had obviously 7 and 9 was my favorite. I liked a lot of the lower members, but no, she wasn't a terrible captain. I think she's very competent. She did do things unorthodox style, but they kind of set the groundwork for that also in the Next Generation. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that she was the best person for the job. I think Tuvok would have been a better captain.
I think Tuvok would have been better too. I very much liked his character.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yes, he
the
was
thing,
very.
The thing was, he wasn't a Starfleet officer, so that's how they got away with not making him captain. And I could see that him being related to a quote unquote terrorist organization, that they decided not to make him captain because it's like, okay,
yeah,
we're not going to go that step farther, you know.
Yeah, so they come back, and I know there's a lot of nuance to it. There's 7 seasons of the show and all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just letting my bias show a little bit. I don't fucking like Janeway. I do like the woman who plays her. I like her as an actress. I just did not like that
Kate
character,
Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew. Yeah. You know, I think she's a fantastic actress. I think the
She was
character
great
sucks.
in Orange is the New Black.
She was also great in Dragon Age.
Yeah.
I think that I just think that Janeway is meant to be a little more rigid of a character, and I think that's like, so when she actually kind of like lets her guard down a little bit, it actually, because you see that when she's talking to that little girl. I can't remember the fucking episode, like not even close, but she lets her guard down once in a great while, and I think that's but also at the same time she has made a lot of bad decisions. And I think I guess that's kind of like the humanizing part about it.
Let me put it this way: if she was in, say, Picard's position in the episode I, Borg, where they have the individual Borg Hugh, then they have the option to upload a virus into him and send him back to the collective, which will then kill all the Borg, which is genocide.
Yeah.
Or just to send him back with his newfangled ideas of individualism, which is what happened, and all kinds of shit happened from there. She would have sent the virus.
I would agree with that,
hands down. Or even at the end of the Dominion War, when they infected the founders with the genetic virus that was going to kill all of them, she would not have given them the cure. She would have allowed them to die.
No, and that's where I kind of come from, the fact that she's a lot more rigid. I definitely need to rewatch that. So much to do, so little to see.
So sorry, that was a long tangent for
No.
a throwaway line, but
No,
There's a lot of tangent.
Well, you're talking about 65 years worth of fucking history.
Yeah.
all interconnected because it's literally all interconnected. That's a lot of fucking history.
I thought I could one day inspire people to follow me, even if it's dangerous, the way that you do.
That's a good line.
This is a good line.
But I still think that you're in the right place.
How can I inspire when all I do is take shit from someone like Shaw?
There's
How am
that
I supposed to
swearing
just-
again.
I will. Okay, so instead of shit, how can I? How am I supposed to inspire when I have to take? Fuck. I'd say hell would be better. Hell from someone like Shaw would probably be a little more in line with like Voyager or Next Generation. Definitely think that they're going for that grittiness.
Well, even the phrasing of it, they take shit from, that is not a 25th century phrase.
No,
that's a 21st century phrase.
Yeah, it's a 21st century phrase. I think it could have been written a little better. Because shit is very much a 21st century thing. I think you could say hell because
they don't poop on starships. Clearly, there are no toilets in space.
There's no poop. What? Who's pooping?
Did you ever hear that joke about, Mr. Wolf, report to the bridge? I can't, Captain. Taking a shit. It has ridges. Today is a good day to die.
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's an old thing. I will try to find that for you and send it to you.
All right. Jesus.
Ignore my gut. Ignore my instinct just to follow orders.
If you find that answer, will you let me know? Because I never did.
Commander, we're dropping out of order.
Come with me.
She
Engine
did a
aboard,
thing.
we're on.
You disobeyed orders.
Welcome to the Riken system, gentlemen. The edge of Federation space.
She did a thing. She's gonna be in trouble. Did everybody leave?
Sorry, I was
I'm
muted.
back.
Jesus, everybody was muted but me.
I had a whole diatribe there, and I was just talking, and then you were just like, everybody leaving. I was like, fuck, I forgot to unmute.
Yeah, I was like, she did a thing and she's gonna be in trouble, and it's like, what is fucking gone?
No, she that's part of why she was yelling at Picard, is because she had already gone against orders. She'd already, done a thing that she was not supposed to do. And she was trying to alleviate her conscience somewhat, for helping her friends over the orders. Did Ryan just die? Did all that cocaine he puts up his nose explode in his head?
Apparently.
He just it looked like that last sneeze almost knocked him out of his chair.
I gotta ask, what was your favorite TNG character while we're waiting for him to come back?
My favorite TNG character throughout the course of the series?
Yeah.
Probably Gowron.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was a big fan of the Klingon Empire, and I liked Gowron's character quite
I like
a
the
bit.
Gowron memes with the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
the
those are
best.
good.
Riker was probably my favorite TNG character, maybe with Worf as a second, or Data.
Yeah, those are all good picks.
Yeah, I think Riker was my okay. I think Riker was my favorite, and then Picard, and then probably Deanna, but that was probably because I was a young boy and she's kind of hot.
Yeah, you had motivations.
I didn't have motivations because she was she was Marina Sirtis was I said her name right, hopefully.
She was a smoke show.
She was a fucking smoke show. Gosh darn it, I hate it when it does that.
Crusher was too. She was just always wearing that blue lab coat, so you never really got a clear picture, except for that one time that her and Troy were in leotards exercising.
Yes, I remember that one. Never mind, I said that way too loud.
You were too excited about that.
I think that was season 4.
That sounds like a permanent addition to your private
you had
spank
that
bank
episode
there.
memorized.
well, I watched it recently. I think I'm on I think no, it was season 3 because I'm on halfway through. Season 4 now. Yeah, I think it was 3.
It sounded like you had that episode memorized.
As a kid, yeah. It's a very
may have,
story,
may have watched it a few times. You wore out the digital version of that.
You mean the VHS? Like you know how like when you have a VHS, and,
I mean,
you
like
watch
digital.
The thing?
You're still watching it.
You can't wear a digital, fucker. The hell are you talking about?
You wore out the digital. That's
Get the fuck out of here.
There's still no cure in the 25th century for hairy palms.
Guys, you guys can eat fucking shit. Oh my god! I didn't mean to highlight that. We got I like how we fucking Christ. All right, so talking about a show, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, so we just found out that 7 of 9 has disobeyed orders. She's gone directly against her captain.
Fuck is that noise?
It sounds like a
fucking blow up pump.
Oh, like some kind of automated pocket pussy.
Look, I'm on camera. It's you guys that are fucking off camera.
Man, I'm old school. I just spit in my hand and go.
You'll still hear
it? No. Fuck is that?
I don't need newfangled tech.
Oh, dear God. Your internet is better, though. I'll have to admit that, dude. Your internet is so much better.
Who, mine?
Yeah, yours. Like going, I know that for the longest time you're struggling, man. Like,
Yeah,
even your audio would be off.
I upgraded to Starlink, and it's been great ever since.
Oh, little Elon tech, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, 7.
She's in some shit here, though.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna get spanking.
Oh, that's silly.
Oh no, I love when he wakes up and he's like, "What the fuck?"
He is understandably pissed.
Yeah.
No, I can understand.
Want to tell me? What the hell?
He told them no, and
she did it
senior
anyway.
Leadership, his senior leadership, basically just negated everything he said.
Somebody that he has to trust. Yeah, somebody that he has to trust with the helm while he is sleeping. Basically, somebody he has to trust with the ship and the safety of his crew.
Yep,
has proven that she cannot be trusted.
She literally just essentially committed an act of mutiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she literally did. She took the ship for herself and disobeyed his orders. That is an act of mutiny, whether they tie him up and fucking gag him and throw him in a fucking room or not. Like, she literally just disregarded everything he said.
Can you imagine being keelhauled on a ship like that?
Ugh, no. At least there's not a plank to walk. Walk the plank.
Someone want to tell me what the hell I am looking at?
See, that is more in line with actual Star Trek. What the hell am I looking at? Not.
And it's also appropriately placed.
Yes, not. Does someone want to tell me what the fuck I'm looking at? No, they didn't do that. What the hell am I looking at? That is well placed.
And it was appropriate because his command was subverted.
Yes, that makes perfect fucking sense.
Is the Righton system, sir.
Esmar, lock this ship down. Where the hell are Riker and Picard?
Sir, we have an unauthorized launch from Shuttle Bay 3.
Son of a bitch.
I didn't like that one.
I like it.
You probably could have got away with it, damn it. But I think son of a bitch is too strong.
I'm less I find that one less of a problem for me than saying shit or fuck or that sort of thing, because he's clearly saying it under his breath, you know? Like,
no, I would absolutely agree.
Yeah, but he's not it's just kind of like one of those things that, you know, just escapes you, like, son of a bitch, you know. But
yeah, I can actually see that one. Okay, yeah, you actually kind of won me over. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
that's 7.
This was you. You just loyalty your way to the end of a career.
He's not wrong.
Begins in out.
No, he's not wrong. However, you do see the rest of the crew react because the rest of the crew does appreciate her.
You just loyaltied your way to the end of a career. More full report. Begins in out. Everything they just did.
But he's justified.
I find it interesting that he doesn't immediately relieve her from duty, though.
I do too.
You know, he what he does is he demands a full report, which is still within the parameters of her duties. And he does not remove her from the bridge. He does not confine her to quarters.
It's almost as if he's saying, he's like, I want to know why the fuck this has happened and why the fuck you decided that this was the right course to possibly end your career.
No,
Does that make sense? It's almost go ahead, Alf.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like he's like, why are you willing to destroy everything you are for this?
He's giving, it seems like he's given her enough rope to possibly free herself or hang herself, depending on what the reason for this is.
Yeah, and I can get that. Like, he is giving her the option. She can go one way or she can go the other, but this is the crossroads, and this is where I draw the line. Choose.
Yeah, and I actually kind of respect him for that, because he didn't immediately overreact. He was very harsh, but he didn't make a drastic call. He said, "You're going to give me a full report, and you're going to explain why this was necessary, and it better be a damn good fucking reason."
With the implication that if I don't like what's in this report, you are fucked.
Yes, absolutely. And he kind of gained my respect on that one. That makes for a good captain. Like, you have one chance to defend yourself. Better be a good one.
Right. And I would assume that most captains would not allow you the chance to defend yourself until you're court-martialed. So I mean, they just, chuck in the brig and wait till they got back home.
A good leader, whether it be like a platoon sergeant or something like that, will give you the chance. They'll bust your ass in the moment, but later on they will give you the chance to explain.
They'll examine in the situation.
Yes,
after try to analyze why you did what you did.
Yes,
sure,
but I've been in that situation before. I did.
Sure, but in the immediacy of it, it seems as though she has shown that she cannot be trusted. This is technically an act of mutiny.
It is.
Absolutely. He can't necessarily afford to keep her in her position, because that also sends a message to the crew that, there might be some wiggle room on this mutiny thing.
Yes and no.
There's one thing about TNG, though. Like, on TNG, I don't know if you noticed, when they do like crew swap outs on the bridge, there's always someone to quickly step up and take that position. So he could, if they go on that logic that he could have easily removed her, and then someone would have jumped up to take her spot, and it should have been the second in command, third in command, whatever.
Second officer.
The second officer, yeah.
The second officer should have jumped up and like, I'm taking her position immediately without question.
No, you would actually not step up in that direction, because the captain makes all final calls.
No. What I mean is, like, if he like took her down, said you're removed from service,
then he would
have been like, "Sir, what do you have for me?"
No, he would have actually said, the captain would have had to say, "Second officer, take the helm."
Okay, fair enough.
It has to be an order. It can't be, I'm gonna be, and so the reason I'm saying this is because she was not relieved of duty. Now, yes, this does look slightly bad that she was not relieved of duty. However, he said, "I want a full report," and basically he threatened, said, "Look, I want to know why you made this career-ending mistake. I want a full report, and I want it now." If she stays, it means that basically they found something and there's a legitimate reason for them being out there. Now, if she gets fucking axed and court-martialed and she's never seen again, that lets the lower enlisted know, no, she fucked the hell up, and you don't fucking do it again.
No, that makes sense.
You don't immediately get removed from duty. There is a process in
There's
which
usually an inquiry.
Yes, there's a process for doing so. You may get relieved at the moment, but she still is not relieved of her actual officer status until she's actually possibly court-martialed. But yeah, no, I would say the reason he left her in charge is because he's like, I want to fucking report, and it better be damn good. And so
he had the authority to remove her.
He absolutely
as
did.
a captain.
Yes,
he could have said
immediately,
confine her to her quarters. And number 2, you are in charge.
Yes,
in her place.
Yep, without question.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Excuse me.
You all right? You got the coof?
I saw that crack I smoked out of your butthole.
Did I get it from you?
What? Out of my butthole? The fuck are you talking? Fucking hell, man. That's some gay shit.
I am not gay.
It's only great for balls touch.
I think it's gay if it's man on man, no matter what. We only have like 11 minutes left, and we have been fucking.
Oh, we went like almost 3 hours on this one.
Yeah, but we're fucking having a damn good time. So I mean, it didn't feel like fucking almost 3 hours. So
I think it's been a good show so far. I think I'm looking forward to the rest of this series with you guys.
I know, right?
Damn it. Computer, check Red Lady as, I don't know, the name of a vessel.
This will be your 23rd search attempt. Red Lady, a vessel docked in the Rigel system. Red Lady, former member of the Tal Shiar, deceased 210 days ago at the hands of her father.
Okay. Maybe the Red Lady isn't a buyer or a seller or a ship, but maybe a target.
Bingo.
I'm not a fan of all the shits and dammits and.
Yeah.
I think she just said ships.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. She said
it's not a person or a place or a ship. Maybe it's a target.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to this Trek doing stuff like that.
Right. But in this moment, I think she said ship.
Alf has PTSD for fucking 1 and 2.
Did you guys ever see See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder?
I don't think so.
You should definitely check it out. Richard Pryor is blind and Gene Wilder is deaf, and they get accused of a murder.
I think I have seen that.
That probably sounds like it'd be fucking hysterical.
It is hysterical. There's a bit where they're getting booked in, and Gene Wilder is deaf, of course, and he keeps looking over to Richard Pryor because he reads lips, and the chicks keeps like make him look here, and so he taps him on the shoulder to tell him to look there, and of course he turns his head to see what Richard Pryor's saying, and it's a back and forth. It's very very.
I think I have seen that
old school vaudeville kind of thing. And he looks at Pryor and he goes, "Is she saying ship or shit?" And he goes, "Shit." And he's like, "Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why anyone would say ship.
I've probably seen it, but I was on the very young end of Richard Pryor. So
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I highly recommend you guys watch it.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
The Red Lady.
Charter course to District 7 now. Go!
This is, I believe, a Starfleet recruitment center that is a statue at.
Yeah, I think so too.
Computer, engage autopilot and open a channel.
That Red Lady looks like B'Elanna Torres. Am I wrong?
It does. It does look like her.
Of course, also, just for the record, this kind of looks like fucking China. All fucking crowded.
Or Brazil.
Or Brazil, yeah.
District 7, right?
Yeah, District 7, am I right? Fuck.
Computer, engage
did look like shit.
Open a channel. District 7. I'm requesting to speak with Star.
Trump said shithole country.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Well, it is what it is.
That's why I like the guy. It's like going, he's like, hey, look, I'm spelling it out the way it fucking is. What are you going to do? That's a group of people and where they live. And it's like going, okay, well, it's not the people's fault. It's a shithole country.
It's probably the government.
Yes, it's always the government. Cool Frog. Oh, no. Cool Frog. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
We love the Cool Frog. Such an awesome person who has rated the channel more than once. Appreciate Cool Frog and all of his friends. So shout out to Cool Frog.
I believe you're under imminent threat of a terrorist attack.
You're probably going
I
to
need
want
to
to
speak
show
with someone
what this
immediately.
happens to.
Yeah.
Because this is some...
I think it's funny that she talks to them, announces that there's an imminent threat of terrorist attack. It happens, and then she's still labeled a criminal.
Yeah.
Like,
well, she
had
didn't.
it right.
She didn't call in the strike fast enough, dude. Call
Well,
it. Call that shit in faster.
I kind of wonder too, because so she calls in before the event actually occurs. So somebody needs to be listening on the other end, and I'm wondering if maybe the people who deployed this weapon possibly scrambled their signals first.
Probably.
So they would have no warning.
Yeah, she got zero response.
Yeah, because somebody should have said, even the beginning of a sentence before they started screaming.
That would make sense if there was shapeshifters there to stop the signal going through.
Somebody should have said something too in the beginning, because that was her target destination to possibly land, and there was no response. It was just dead air. She's literally flying over, and it's like no response. And she's like, "You're the possible target of a terrorist attack." No response. Somebody should be on the comms, immediate comms, back and forth, and that's how it happens when you're. Whether you're landing a fucking plane or if you're landing a fucking starship, it's going to be the same thing. There's got to be a fucking ground control from point A to all the way to point B in land.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say that was probably
yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, either that was an oversight by the writers, or it was intentionally done by the antagonists.
The other half missing the chase.
Well, are you enjoying this?
Yes.
Of course not. Are you?
Vessel in range.
No.
Laser scorches.
No.
Or damage.
Okay, maybe a little.
Are running at half power.
Life signs.
The nebula's interfering with the sensors. I'm picking up one for sure. Maybe more. It's hard to tell.
I'm uploading Beverly's last known Starfleet medical profile. Comparing.
Biosign identical.
It's her.
Warning, detecting critical light.
Pulse ox and her respiratory are dangerously low. She needs help, and whoever's there with her.
Friend or foe.
Got to find out.
Jonathan Frakes is only like 10 years younger than him, and he's aged so much better.
Your hands are stiff.
You know that William Shatner's like only 10 years older than him, right?
I know. William Shatner's is.
And Shatner is full of energy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Spitfire.
It'll be a rough day. I have a feeling Shatner's probably going to get to almost to 100, if not 100.
That's good genetics right there.
Yeah, that's phenomenal genetics. Especially because dude's probably lived like a rock star for in his younger days. But no, Shatner's been in so many different movies and so many different roles. It's like, yeah, he's so spry.
Did you ever see his first appearance on television?
No, I don't think I have.
It's, I believe it was the Twilight Zone episode Terror at 20,000 Feet. He plays the paranoid guy who sees the gremlin on the wing.
Oh.
He was about 19, 20 years old, I think, when that aired.
Which they make a reference to in Ace Ventura when Nature Child. There's something on the wing. Something.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I've not seen the Twilight episode because obviously it's well before I was born. But yeah, I do know the reference.
Decontamination cycle complete.
Ready?
It's over.
Okay, what I'm going to do is slightly fast forward.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is where we find out that what's playing is basically a playlist that Picard gave her instead of flowers. Like he gave her a fucking mixtape.
Yeah, yeah, he did. He gave her a mixtape. Yeah. Okay, so we got phaser fire, confirming that.
Yep, they look at some of the stuff, and one of the things that we glossed over at the beginning when she kills that second guy who's shooting at her, she wounds him and he falls to the ground, and then she walks up and just shoots him and vaporizes him on the floor.
Yes, she does.
Which is I only bring up here because it's relevant to what Riker's doing with his like investigating here. He leans down and he's like, "Have you ever seen ashes like this from phaser fire?" You know. And
yes,
which makes sense later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wanted to get off screen real quick. So since I didn't realize that having it paused could get you fucking clipped. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
You never had that issue. You never had that issue with HBO.
No, I haven't. Unlocking lore. That would be Maria. Hey guys. Hey Maria. It's been so long. Gosh, we have missed.
How's it going?
I have missed the shit out of you. She is one of the legacy members of Friday Night's Royal Rumble. And she's such a sweetheart too. She is the geeky crochet. And she's such a great person. God bless her. She lives in Canada and we feel bad for her because of that.
Wow.
She said,
I'm sorry you're a Canadian and nice to meet you.
Yes. No. We don't talk to you enough, unfortunately. So, but she is busy with the school. But good for her.
I see Caucasian Squatch there too, asking then what happens.
Yeah, no,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, no, I saw him say then what happens. I wasn't sure what he was talking about, so I was hoping that like maybe you knew Samuel.
I think he's just trolling a little bit. He does that.
Beverly.
And Stasis.
Whoa.
And here we found that the other character on the ship, whose name hasn't been revealed yet, but will be, has gotten the drop on Riker.
Number one, she's here.
And Patrick Stewart looks rough.
I'm
in some of these shots.
The man you're holding hostage is Captain William Riker. Now lower your weapon.
It kind of almost looks like his eyes can't focus.
Beverly is clearly wounded, and given the controls and medpod are on the outside, someone must have helped her inside.
Hold on, real quick, Maria. I will message you on Twitter about it, and we can talk further. Don't want her to out her personal information.
Somebody who cared for her.
Scuffle.
I should realize that Beverly would never call out halfway across the galaxy in order to save only herself.
And who's this?
Her son.
Dun dun dun.
Picard's immediately like, wait, what?
Warp field destabilized.
Well, chaps, I have to say you're doing a piss poor job of saying anything.
Proximity alert. Unknown vessel approaching.
That opens up a whole can of worms of questions.
Yeah, he's like, wait. What?
Yeah, I know.
They're different faces.
Warning. Damage to warp core detected.
Damn it! They must have followed you here.
The hell is going on?
We're being hunted.
By whom?
Forward blast doors retracting.
Save yourself.
Here we're about to get our first glimpse of one of the more interesting antagonist ships.
I know. It's fucking incredible looking.
That'll find its way into Star Trek Online.
Yes, it will. Now we will not hear the name of it because this is one of the final shots of the episode. Here, they reveal it in the next episode, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. That is the Shrike, and it is awesome.
Maria says I gotta watch the last episode of this. Yes, that's so good. I have to say I love this season, but I still have to see the last episode. And she said it's been a long time since I've enjoyed Star Trek. Yeah, agreed. I think everybody on this panel can agree. It's been a long time since we've enjoyed Star Trek. Just taking a smidgen of a break. I know this is literally one of the last shots of it, but this is usually where we get clipped on usually get clipped on Game of Thrones is like the last like 3 minutes, and they're like, boop, stream down.
I will say HBO is a lot more tolerant of how long you stream versus Paramount. Like Paramount, you're just on a pause screen and they tag you.
I had never had that happen. Like usually we have to be.
And I've been on some of your streams with the House of the Dragon, and we were paused for quite a while talking, and nothing happened.
Yeah, no, that was different, but I guess I'm not surprised. Because Disney can be kind of bad too when it comes to the Mandalorian, because we've done that a couple of times. Maybe not while streaming, but as soon as the stream ends, within like an hour, they fucking block the whole entire stream.
Which is funny because Disney is perfectly open with people watching their trailers.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So with this here, I'm gonna steal a line from
buttholes.
That is shit porn. So that brings back to mind a line from Nemesis, and I know a lot of people had a problem with Nemesis, but when the scimitar first shows up on screen, right? The Riemann Warbird. What Picard says about that ship, I think, applies here. She's a predator.
You know, I didn't have as much of a problem with Nemesis as some people did. And I say that because I liked the additional lore for the Romulans that came in, and I liked the scimitar, which was amazing.
Scimitar's how ship.
And how immense that ship is, even against the Enterprise, which is the flagship of the Federation.
Yeah, I enjoyed learning about Remus and the Remans quite a bit. I thought that was pretty neat, especially the stuff where they talked about how their planet was tidally locked.
I didn't like the ending because it didn't give a proper send off to the TNG crew, which I think is what this season is. It's giving a proper send off to the TNG crew that they deserve.
I think that the crew, the cast rather, and a lot of the crew were not intending to come back and do more movies, but I think that the producers had intended to somehow wrangle them back into more, and that's part of why it ended like it did. But also, I don't think that there was a lot of stuff about Nemesis that was just kind of wonky.
Yeah, I don't like how they ended the movie with Data, and I don't like that it didn't properly close off everything, because that was the last TNG would have until Picard, and Picard season 1 and 2 were garbage, but season 3 has done a turnaround to close things off with this crew, which I found amazing. So,
Unlocking Lord, nice to meet you too.
Yes. She said, "Gotta bounce. Nice to meet both of you and Ryan. I'll talk to you later." And much love to Maria. She's such a phenomenal person, and she actually the reason she's called the Geeky Crochet is she actually crochets like Star Wars characters and stuff like that. And, and she's fucking incredible. She's she's so good at it.
It would only be a little inappropriate then if I greeted her next time as my knitter.
She would laugh. She would laugh at that.
Yeah. And also crochet is not exactly knitting, but it
she would laugh at that because she moved to Canada and she was like going to school and stuff like that, and she's like, oh my god, she's like, these people I have to deal with, she's like, they're she's like, it's so terrible. She's like, I don't want to let them know, like, people I hang out with, because she has like the wrong opinions as a I believe she's Peruvian, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since we talked about, but yeah, I believe she moved from Peru to Canada. Yeah, but she's just like ugh, Canadians.
Yeah. So
God, that's a good looking ship.
It is. That's a great shot too.
Yeah, the only thing I have against this scene, and go back to where they show the two ships together.
Yes, sir. No, I was kidding.
No, the problem I have is the
fucking difference.
But the Titan is not much bigger than that ship. However, it's just Beverly and her son captaining that ship. So how does she have a ship that big?
It mentions at the beginning that most of that is set up on automated systems.
Yeah,
but still, it's a ship almost as big as the Titan, and it's just two people.
I agree.
That's the only issue I have, and like I said, I've said this on several other streams I've been on with critiquing this show. It's like,
well, yeah, you were on one what last week?
I went on the Renaissance Nerds stream where we talked about this. It was like 2 weeks ago. But either way, I made the same comment. I said, look, we're sitting here arguing over standard nerd stuff and not over the message. We got to at least observe that. We're arguing over stuff that nerds traditionally argue over and not...
Feels fucking great, don't it?
Yes,
the message. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Really does.
Yeah, it feels good to be back in form.
This is literally the end, so we're just gonna kind of like play it out just a little bit. Man, that's ginormous.
I'm liking what they did with the score there, with the kind of like.
Oh, I like the music. You gotta the music and the credits. You gotta say something about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
The music. I think whoever the music director was for this did a fantastic
The
job.
music in the credits was the music from First Contact, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. In the end credits, yes. In the beginning, it was the opening of the traditional Star Trek.
Yeah. But
So,
the First Contact music, and I know a lot of people that like the show didn't like the movies, but First Contact was probably the best movie of all the TNG movies.
Of the TNG movies, absolutely it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and the music was amazing in that movie.
I think there was a lot of great stuff about that movie.
Yeah.
You know, I really enjoyed it, and there's callbacks later in this season to specifically that movie too. Which we'll get to when we get to, but keep an eye out for those because they're something special, I think.
So, gentlemen, shall we go around the horn and let's end this, because I think this has been a successful stream. We only got clipped once, which is good. It was on a pause screen, which is different, but we made it 3 hours with only one clip. I wish I could. Maybe HBO actually is worse, because I've been clipped multiple times in like a 2-hour stream with HBO. So who knows? But Horny Elf, the pussy eater himself.
Gents, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed this. As far as where you can find me on Twitter, dropping pop culture and political commentary, dropping memes related to the Fellowship. When I'm not streaming with you guys, you can find me on the Legion of Memers stream on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can also find me on Bet's Talkin' on Saturday nights, and Ballbusters, Jeremy Wormy's channel, on Friday nights. Also, I started my own gaming channel, so you can find me on Twitch if you want to see me gaming live.
In the description.
And then for replays, you can find me on my own YouTube channel, which I moved all my streams from Twitch over to YouTube for now, anyways. But yeah, I've got 2 streams, and Ryan, me and you need to play Star Trek Online or World of Warships. You talk about ship porn. World War II ships is ultimate ship porn.
You said that the Warships game is cross-platform, so I can play on PC.
World of Warships is cross-platform PlayStation to Xbox. not to PC.
Not
And I
PC.
say that because when they moved it from PC to PlayStation, Xbox, they had to rebuild the game.
Okay.
So if you have PlayStation or Xbox, we can play.
No, I have a PlayStation. I need to know the parameters because like when it's cross-platform, it should be like all three together.
I get it.
It
But
just gets
yeah,
so confusing. It's like, oh, it's cross-platform for this, but not with that. And it's like, okay.
and if it's since you have PlayStation, we can play together, and I can stream it if whenever you're ready to do that. So
okay, yeah, no, and also what were we talking about? Yeah, the possibility of me streaming Picard season 1 and 2 on Twitch as a
Ugh.
kind of like a review.
You're on your own with that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not joining you on that one.
Yeah. I don't.
I have already subjected myself to enough of that.
He's
Thank
like,
you very
I've
much.
been through enough.
It's,
Come on.
That reminds me, there is one important detail that we did not mention here that is still relevant from season 1. Picard's organic body is dead. He is walking around in a bioorganic android with his consciousness downloaded into it. He's basically a copy of Picard.
Yeah. Which, you know what? They don't there's not a whole lot of alluding to. And I think they're just trying to like going like go away.
Yeah, no, they're trying to get us past that shit, but I don't
Thank you,
understand
Alex
why
Kurtzman, you piece of shit.
I don't understand why you would build an android with a fucking prostate issue. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just well, I guess if your consciousness remembers that, then you would think.
And you know what's funny? And I don't want to spoil it, but in Picard season 3, they kind of undo that.
Yeah.
The prostate issue, as you speak.
Yeah.
They completely like that wasn't a thing.
Yeah. So it's not to spoil too much for it, but I think that information has been out there for some time. So
yeah, no, it has. Mr. Samuel the Infamous is the eldritch horror extraordinaire god.
Yeah, so we are simultaneously streaming this stream on my channel as well as Ryan's, and we'd actually in future, Alf, I don't think that Ryan or I would ever have an issue with you streaming it up to your channel as well.
Oh no, yeah, let it.
The more the merrier. But that said, yeah, you can find me on my channel, Samuel the Infamous, bears the same name I do. We do all kinds of talking head shit mostly. Thursday nights, you'll find us, myself and my co-host Lawrence Knight on Abyssal Musings. On Saturday afternoons, we do a larger show with Ryan, Cat the Hijabi Gamer. Occasionally, Lawrence will be there. Know Me Without You will also usually be there. And, we'll have guests on occasion called Screaming Into the Void. And it airs right after or like the end of the meme stream comes right up against where Screaming Into the Void does. And it just kind of worked out that way schedule-wise. It wasn't intentional. But and you can also occasionally find me on Friday Night's Royal Rumble on Ryan's channel, Legion Talk. I also do work on the Lioness Exiled channel, which is a political channel. So I produce streams over there, and I'm a head moderator, that kind of thing. And we'll see you also here again. Same
Next
bat
Sunday.
time, same bat channels next
Yep.
Sunday for episode 2.
Episode 2. I need to figure out what the fuck Game of Thrones episode we're on. I think it's season 3, episode 5. I might have to watch that after this. Yes. Okay. So, it's my channel.
You're on my channel too, fucker. Plug your shit.
So Legion Talk tomorrow night is going to be Game of Thrones season 3, episode number 5 with Joker voice, Tyler the Redbeard, You Know Me Without You, a shadow of the Hawk, as it used to be, but it's now just Shadow of Hawk. Yeah, we're gonna be doing and Mr. Grant Gregory. So and then after that will be Friday Night's Royal Rumble, where you'll see a lot of the same interesting characters, and you can find me doing gaming streams whenever I fucking get off my ass. History videos, Legion teaches history. And quite frankly, nobody needs to stick around for the outro because, in the fashion of Picard and, taking a little heat from, I guess, Yellow Flash because they don't play this anymore. I don't know why. Our outro will be this. I'll see you guys. Much love to you all.
Engage.
You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song. Song.